In front of a small, lonely grave, a black-clad man with a full head of white hair leans against the tombstone. His long hair is a stark, absolute white. His robes, the usual black, the contrast only heightening his strikingly handsome, otherworldly features. Scattered at his feet lie about a dozen empty wine jars. Another still cradled in his arms. His eyes are tightly shut right now, as if he has drifted off to sleep. 4 black-clad assassins grip their long swords, closing in from every direction, striking like lightning in utter silence. But the man doesn't stir, not even a tremor in his lashes. The 4 swords encounter no resistance at all, impaling him from every angle.
Deputy Manager! Wang Sai! What is wrong? Having a nightmare!
The clatter of hurried footsteps mingles with a voice that is strangely familiar, laced with concern. The woman snaps her eyes open, taking in vast swaths of crimson all around. I saw him clutching that wine jar, dozing against his own grave. 4 black-clad men ambushed him, but he didn't react at all. The 4 swords plunged right through him all at once. I lunged forward to shield his body, but the 4 swords sliced straight through me, savagely impaling him. I had no physical form, no matter how wide I flung my arms. To guard him as best I could, it was useless. I couldn't stop a single blow. He must be dead.
Third miss! Stop crying! You'll worry father to death. And I'll cry my heart out too! My lady Xiao Tao knows His Highness the Prince. Didn't he tell you yesterday? He has some crucial business to handle. And the prince is so smitten with you. He'd never dream of leaving you alone on your wedding night. He'll be back tonight, for sure. Just wait for him.
The woman's sobs falter for a moment. She slowly turns her head aside and gradually opens her eyes.
All right, little Peach. Look at the princess. How did you go and trip like that? As if you don't even recognize your own maid anymore.
Shen Nangxing pauses, then slowly pushes herself up to sit, glancing around the room. The bed she is lying on and its drapes are all a vivid red. Turns out, when she first opened her eyes just now, that vast swath of red she saw wasn't blood, but the crimson canopy overhead.
The man who married me yesterday. Was it Prince Jing? My lady, have you gone all giddy with joy? Of course. It is the Prince Jing you've been pining for. It is getting late already. Let this servant help you get up. You and the prince still have to enter the palace to pay respects to His Majesty today.
Shen Nangxing could no longer hold back, tears streaming down her cheeks. She had been reborn. She had truly been reborn. Right now, her grandfather was still hale and hearty. Her mother was still alive. Xiao Tao and the others were all still alive, and her maternal family hadn't been wiped out yet. And Fu Zhuli was still by her side. Shen Nangxing eagerly rolled out of bed, without even stopping to put on her shoes, and bolted outside.
Your Highness! Where are you off to? Your Highness! Miss, you haven't changed out of your clothes yet! Your Highness, slow down a bit! Hurry and slip on your shoes!
Xiao Tao hurried after her in a panic, clutching her shoes in one hand, and her clothes in the other. But it wasn't long before she lost track of her. Shen Nangxing clad in plain white, barefoot, her hair piled in a messy bun. She raced toward a small gate in the prince's mansion backyard at full speed, snatching up 2 pebbles along the way and flicking them deftly from her bare hand. The 2 guards at the gate didn't even have time to react before collapsing. She didn't hesitate for a second. Charging straight out, once through the side gate, she dashed along the mansion's outer wall for a ways, gasping for breath, when a dark figure suddenly caught her eye. Her nose stung, and the tears she'd just managed to stifle came pouring out again. It was him. So everything he'd whispered to her at her grave had been true. On the day of her wedding, he'd truly kept vigil all night just outside the mansion. In the spot closest to her, he stood there all alone, utterly still, like a lonely island. He leaned against the inner side of that wall, the very bridal chamber where she and Prince Jing had shared their wedding night. Last night, how heartbroken he must have been. Shen Nangxing's heart twisted in pain. I couldn't hold it in any longer, clapping a hand over my mouth as laughter choked into sobs. He slowed his pace, drawing closer to him, one careful step at a time. Chenhao, his hair still as black as night. Shen Nangxing sniffled, reaching up to brush the tears away, before finally letting her fingers graze his arm. The man whipped around, his eyes widening in shock, his mouth parting like he wanted to speak. but nothing came out, leaving him looking utterly dazed and dopey for once. Shen Nanxing's tears broke into a smile, only for fresh ones to spill in an instant.
The royal consort tied the knot just yesterday, and here she is at the crack of dawn, with energy to spare.
He is the ninth prince, after all.
So what brings him out for a stroll, this early just passing through? That is all.
Is that right?
Yeah, looks that way. What is wrong?
There, a pair of delicate white feet stepping onto the ground, the spot where her foot had landed faintly stained with crimson blood.
Why aren't you wearing shoes?
The man's thick eyebrows shot up, his face a picture of utter exasperation, yet he was at a complete loss.
Where is your maidservant?
Shen Nanxing bowed her head, feigning utter pitifulness. Maiden.
Nonsense. How can Princess Jing, of all people, go out without her maidservant?
But the woman kept her head down, looking thoroughly aggrieved, refusing to speak. After fuming for a moment, the man snapped his fingers.
Master, what are your orders?
Escort Princess Jing back.
Lest anyone see. The woman in black rose and moved to Shen Nanxing's side, preparing to drag her away, only for Shen Nanxing to wrench free.
Fu Xiuli, you just caught a full glimpse of my feet. Now you have to take responsibility for me.
What did you just say?
My mother always said, a woman's feet are for her husband's eyes only. 9,000 years old. I'm not trying to shirk my duty.
Shen Nanxing, do you even realize what you're saying? You married King Jing just yesterday. You're Princess Jing now. And as for me,
he and I, we've never consummated our marriage.
yesterday was your wedding night.
He wants a divorce by mutual consent with her. And I want to marry you.
The princess consort is quite the schemer. You've quarreled with the prince, and now you want to use me to take him down. You think you can make a fool out of this prince, but you'd better check if you're even worthy. I'm not Ling Yue.
At the man's command, the woman in black leaped down once more, swiftly carrying Shen Nanxing away, vanishing in the blink of an eye.
Ling Yue, put me down. The prince has misunderstood me. I need to explain everything to him.
But Ling Yue ignored her completely, and even quickened her pace, soon bringing her back to her room.
Forget it. I'll explain it to him slowly later. Fortunately, it is not too late yet.
In this life, she absolutely won't miss him again. She prepared to get out of bed, but as soon as her foot touched the ground, it is over. Today, she still has to enter the palace for an audience with the emperor alongside Shi Tingyue, that scumbag, with her foot twisted this badly. What on earth is she going to do? Why did she have to be reborn the day after the wedding? If only it had been a day earlier, she could have found a way to call off the engagement. But now, the wedding rites are complete, and at this point, even a sudden illness would only lead to divorce.
Princess consort, what is wrong?
An anxious voice called from outside the room.
Princess consort, where have you been? How did you get hurt so badly? What about Xiao Tao? I just stepped out to the main kitchen to fetch breakfast, and you end up injured like this. You still have to head to the palace soon, but with your foot in this state. Princess consort, just hang in there. I'll go fetch some medicine for you right away.
The little maid wiped away her tears and stood up. But then I saw my princess consort wiping away her tears too.
Princess consort, does it hurt that badly?
Shen Nanxing sat on the edge of the bed. As the little maid stood up, she pulled her into a tight embrace.
Shuixiang, I missed you so much.
In her past life, she was betrayed by a traitor in their midst. Captured by the Dongolai kingdom, they bound her tight and hoisted her arms high above the city walls, laying an inescapable dragonet to draw Prince Jing right into their trap. She hung there for 5 agonizing days, beaten mercilessly, day after day, denied even a single grain of rice or drop of water. When the thirst grew utterly unbearable, she'd bite through her lip, swallowing her own blood just to cling to life. All the while, she held fast to one desperate hope, that Shi Tingyu would come and save her. But even as she took her final breath, her husband never arrived. It was her grandfather who came instead, along with that loyal maid, Chengxing. Chengxing, disguised as a man, was hidden among the men grandfather brought. She recognized her in an instant, and watched with her own eyes as tears streamed down Chengxing's face while she rushed toward her, only for an arrow to pierce straight through her heart.
That silly girl couldn't even fight to save her life. I've only been wed into Prince Jing's mansion for a single day. So how come you and Xiao Tao are already switching up? And calling me princess so soon? I still like it better when you call me miss. just like back at the Hall Mansion. Wasn't it you who told us yesterday that you've gone through the wedding rites with the prince, and we're supposed to address you as princess from now on? You've forgotten already.
He was such a total fool in his past life.
You're back! The seas almost couldn't track you down!
They say folks are born wise by nature.
Wow, what is this?
Xiao Tao came in clutching a small white porcelain vial.
My lady, this servant found this at the door. What is this? My lady, what is wrong with your foot? I'm okay. How did this miss end up with you two crybabies as her personal maids? Xiao Tao, what is that in your hand? My lady, this servant just picked it up off the ground at the door. Allie, how'd you drop the medicine on the ground? No, it wasn't me who dropped it. If not you, then who? Don't tell me it was my lady.
Shen Naxing reached out and took the vial, clutching it in her hand, a small smile curving her lips.
Miss, that injury on your foot is no joke. How are you supposed to make it to the imperial audience? But if you skip it, that is breaking court etiquette.
No sedans allowed inside the palace. You'd have to walk the whole way. But it is such a long trek. Even if you tough it out, I'm afraid your feet would be ruined for good. Shen Naxing lowered her gaze, lost in thought, then suddenly remembered something.
Got a plan. Tasty. So fragrant. Carry me to the gate of Xinlan Courtyard. But miss, didn't you say last night that no one is allowed anywhere near Xinlan Courtyard? Go. Right now.
In my past life, I was totally blinded by my own foolishness. That scumbag, Shi Tingyu, claimed his wet nurse once lived in Xinlan Courtyard, and after she passed away, he had the place sealed off. I took his words to heart, and truly never set foot anywhere near that courtyard, not even knowing the truth until the day I died. What wet nurse? That nonsense about some old nurse living in Xinlan Courtyard. It was clearly his secret hideaway for his lover. Last night, on our wedding eve, he never even showed up in my chambers. He just sent a servant to let me know, claiming some sudden urgent business had come up, and hoping I'd understand. Not only did I not complain one bit, I even felt sorry for him, working himself to exhaustion like that. Looking back now, it is utterly laughable.
Miss, if you head to Xinlan Courtyard, won't the prince get mad at you? Yeah, miss. After all, that is the former home of the prince's wet nurse. If we just barge in without permission, he is sure to be upset.
Shen Naxing knew that explaining any more right now wouldn't convince them as much as letting them see the truth with their own eyes soon enough, and that would hit them like a thunderbolt.
I'm talking, and you two aren't even listening anymore, are you?
Seeing the young lady so furious, the two little maids finally clammed up, not daring to say another word.
Miss, let me help you change into something more suitable before you head out. No, I'll go just like this.
As Shen Naxing was carried on Changxing's back to the gates of Xinlan Courtyard, the two guards on duty were still dozing off, which meant no one inside had stirred yet. She let out a cold chuckle, then directed Xiao Tao to gather a few pebbles for her. With a casual flick of her wrist, the two stones struck true, hitting the guard's acupoints dead on.
Let's go. Miss, when did you get so skilled?
Yeah, when did she pull off something like that? In her past life, she'd started training in martial arts with her grandfather at just 8 years old. Thanks to her sharp natural talent, she picked up techniques in no time. But whenever her grandfather had her drilling the basics, the moment no one was watching, she'd sneak off to play instead. That left her foundation shaky, with nothing but flashy, superficial moves to show for it. If she'd built it right, she wouldn't have been so easily caught by those Eastern invaders in her past life, and ended up losing her life. Later, after his death, he became a wandering ghost appeal, doomed to linger at Fu Zhuli's side, enduring long, lonely decades together. Once Fu Zhuli had avenged him, day after day, he'd lean against the tombstone and chat with him, and in quiet moments even teach him the art of archery. He'd always say, if only my skills had been more honed back then, I wouldn't have been snatched away by Dongalai, and I never would have lost my life. Over time, even though he couldn't touch a morsel of food, he could only practice archery stances in thin air. Yet, he mastered a formidable set of skills.
Wow, how truly devoted and filial. The wet nurse has been gone for so many years, yet he has kept her old courtyard in such impeccable condition. Miss, the way the prince honors his late wet nurse like this, surely he'll cherish you even more in the future.
Shen Naxing fell silent, her hearing exceptionally sharp. Before she even drew near, she could already hear the ragged breaths from the side chamber, mingled with a woman's soft, breathless moans. They were actually giving in to passion in broad daylight. Shen Naxing steeled her heart. and dug her nails hard into her thigh, tears springing instantly to her eyes.
Why is the young lady suddenly crying? It seems like there is some kind of commotion in the room.
In a complete panic, I saw my young lady kick the door open with one fierce foot.
Little Xie.
My foot was just about to check the injury, but I was stunned speechless by the shocking scene that suddenly appeared inside the room. A woman's piercing scream rang out. The man lying far below, lost in lust, snapped awake from his daze with a furious expression. But when he spotted the woman at the door, clad only in a simple white undergarment, her eyes brimming with tears, his anger froze on his face.
If it weren't for that potion, you saw, I really did have urgent business to handle last night. After that...
This is our wedding night.
My lord, is that your excuse for leaving your new wife alone in an empty bridal chamber?
My lord, do you still remember when you came to seek my young lady's hand in marriage? And how you promised her father, the Marquis? You vowed that unless my young lady bore no heirs within 3 years, only then would you consider taking in the eldest sister. But look at what you're doing right now! My young lady only crossed the threshold yesterday!
Shen Nanxing watched her two maids, one sobbing uncontrollably in rage, her little face flushed beet red, gasping for breath. The other wiping away tears from time to time, and suddenly felt a deep ache in her heart. Had she overplayed her hand?
Nanxing, go back and get ready first. We still need to head to the palace soon. That whole mess, I've wronged you deeply, and I'll make it up to you, with a full explanation later.
Mama, let's go home.
But Shen Nanxing turned and stormed off, looking utterly heartbroken. The sound of her footsteps, followed by her attendants, faded into the distance. The man flung back the covers, about to rise from the bed.
My lord.
Yana, enough of that. This prince has pressing matters today. I'll come back to you later.
Yanar understands. Brother Shui,
You're going to escort that woman to see your father emperor. With those words, she lowered her head in quiet disappointment, looking utterly forlorn.
Brother Shui, you go on. Yanar will wait here obediently for you. It is just... Yanar just can't bear to see you go. The very thought of you off with another woman, it makes Yanar's heart ache so fiercely.
It is Brother Yu's fault. I've made you suffer, Yanar. But we haven't secured the Shen family's military command yet. Yarni.
The woman didn't wait for him to finish, propping herself up on his arm as she knelt before him. Her crimson lips silenced his with a kiss.
Brother Yu, you don't need to explain. Yanar gets it all.
As her movements caused the sheets to slip away, his throat tightened. The two of them embraced tightly once more, tumbling back into the soft bed. After the time it takes to steep a cup of tea, Shi Tingyu, neatly dressed in casual robes, left Xinglan courtyard with a gentle shake of his jade fan. No sooner had he stepped outside than he spotted the bloodstains on the ground. He furrowed his brow and took a few more steps forward, where he saw faint trails of blood smeared along the path. She must have run here barefoot to find him. It seems she is utterly smitten with him. Having caught wind of some vicious gossip from who knows where, she didn't even have time to slip on her shoes before rushing to his side. Shi Tingyu smiled and shook his head. So he instructed the servants to clean up the bloodstains along the way, while making his way alone to the south courtyard gate.
Nanxing, are you alright?
But after a long moment, there was no reply. Shi Tingyu strode straight into the room, only to find it deserted. Frowning, he stepped back out and beckoned to a maid who was tending the flowers in the courtyard.
Where is the princess consort?
In response to your highness, the princess consort said she is returned to the Nanyang Marquis mansion and asked you not to worry.
Today, she's going into the palace for an audience with the emperor. Didn't he know? Why head back to the mansion now?
The princess consort said she'll handle the audience with the emperor herself, since you have pressing matters to attend to. No need for you to go. She'll explain everything to His Majesty on your behalf.
After Shen Nanxing returned to the south courtyard with her two maids, she didn't bother with elaborate grooming, simply slipping into a simple green gown before heading back to the mansion with them.
Nancy, go on back and get yourself ready. First, we'll need to head into the palace soon. This grave mistake, it is this prince who has wronged you. Later, this prince will explain everything to you.
Go on. Let's head home.
Shen Nanxing turned and walked away, looking utterly heartbroken. The footsteps of her entourage fading into the distance. The man threw off the covers, about to rise from the bed.
My lord.
Yanar, don't fuss. This prince has important business today. I'll come back to keep you company later.
Yanar knows,
Brother Shi, you're going to escort that woman to see your imperial father. With that, she lowered her head in deep disappointment, looking utterly desolate.
Brother Shu, you go ahead. Yenner will wait here obediently for you to return.
But it is just... Yenner can't bear to see you go. The mere thought of you off with another woman makes Yar's heart ache so terribly.
It is my fault. Brother Yu, I've wronged you, my dear Yanner. But the Shen family's military command hasn't fallen into our hands yet. Yarni.
The woman didn't wait for the man to finish speaking, propping herself up on his arm as she knelt and sat upright, her crimson lips sealing his mouth.
Brother Yu, you don't need to explain. I understand it all. You are...
As her movements caused the sheets to slip away, the man's throat tightened. The two of them embraced once more, tumbling into the soft bed. After about the time it takes to sip a cup of tea, he left the New Orchid courtyard, impeccably dressed and lightly fanning himself with his jade fan. But the moment he stepped out the door, his eyes fell on the bloodstains on the ground. He furrowed his brow, taking a few more steps forward, where faint trails of blood smeared the path ahead. She must have run here barefoot to find him. It seems she truly loves him to the depths of her soul. Having heard some idle gossip from who knows where, without even pausing to slip on her shoes, rushing straight to him, Xie Tingyu smiled softly and shook his head. So he instructed his men to clear the bloodstains from the road, and made his way alone to the entrance of the south courtyard.
Nanxing, are you feeling better?
But after a long moment, there was still no reply. Xie Tingyu strode straight into the chamber, only to find it completely empty. He frowned and stepped back out, beckoning casually to a maidservant tending the flowers in the courtyard.
Where is the Wang Fei?
In response to your highness, the Wang Fei said she is returned to the Nanyang Marquis mansion and asks you not to worry.
She plans to enter the palace today for an audience with the emperor.
Did he not know?
Why go back to the Marquis's mansion at a time like this?
The Wang Fei said she will naturally go to the palace for an audience. Since your highness has pressing matters to attend to, there is no need for you to go. She'll explain everything to his majesty on your behalf.
Upon returning to the Nanyuan residence with her two maids, she did not bother with elaborate grooming, simply slipping into a plain green gown. Before setting off back to the Marquis's mansion with them, grandfather only manages to utter these two words, before breaking down in sobs, unable to say another word. The old man panics right away.
Nanxing, what is wrong?
Who picked on you? Why are you crying like this?
Shen Nanxing throws his arms around the old man, burying his head in his chest, truly feeling the warmth of his grandfather's embrace. He finally breaks down, sobbing uncontrollably like a child. That scene from his previous life. Since his rebirth, he hadn't even dared to think about it.
Grandfather! The grandfather grows worried.
Are you saying that, bastard? Shitting you picked on you!
I'll go chop him up right now. That grandfather of his... Xie Tingyu! He's got others to back him up.
Xie Tingyu rushed to the Nanyang Marquis mansion, only to find it deserted. He learned that Shen Nanxing had already gone to the palace with old Marquis Shen. Old Marquis Shen had saved the late emperor in his youth, earning him a life-saving grace, which granted him the rare privilege of entering the palace by soft sedan. Xie Tingyu's face darkened ominously, his mind torn between resenting Shen Nanxing, that foolish woman, and regretting how he'd wasted time that morning over a mere trinket from Shi Yu. But now, there was nothing he could do, so he could only hurry off to court first. On the imperial court, old Marquis Shen, silent for so long, stepped forward first.
This old minister impeaches Prince Jing with a memorial, stating that when Prince Jing sought my granddaughter's hand in marriage, he vowed that unless my granddaughter bore him no heirs in 3 years, he would never take a concubine. Yet last night, on their wedding eve, Prince Jing abandoned my granddaughter, leaving her to spend the night alone in an empty bedchamber, while he bedded elsewhere. My granddaughter, Shen Nanxing, is the legitimate daughter of the Nanyang Marquis mansion, and the sole remaining bloodline of this old minister's line. To suffer such humiliation from Prince Jing this time is tantamount to grinding the Nanyang Marquis mansion's honor into the dirt. Please, your majesty, seek justice for my granddaughter, and give the whole mansion a fair accounting.
With those words, he trembled and sank to his knees.
Oh, such a thing has come to pass. My dear subject, please rise. I shall see to it that you receive a proper explanation. Prince Jing, what have you to say for yourself?
Father Emperor, nothing of the sort occurred. Your son was attending to urgent matters last night,
and in no way meant to neglect the princess consort. Please allow your son to explain this privately to the old marquis.
Prince Jing, do you dare say those words to my granddaughter's face? Your Majesty, my granddaughter Shen Nanxing is waiting just outside the hall. May she be brought before you to confront Prince Jing face to face.
Grandfather, this is all just a misunderstanding. We can discuss it once we're home, will you?
But old Marquis Shen didn't spare him a single glance, his eyes fixed solely on the emperor.
Please grant your approval, Your Majesty.
The emperor's gaze shifted between the two men.
Out.
I, your humble servant, pay my respects to your majesty. Long live your majesty. Long live forever.
Lady Shen, now that you are wed to Prince Jing, from now on, you may address me as Father Emperor alongside him. The reason I summoned you to the hall today is that Lord Shen the Elder has memorialized against Prince Jing, claiming that on the night of your wedding to him yesterday, Prince Jing left you to keep an empty bed alone and spent the night elsewhere. Is this true?
In response to your majesty, it is indeed so.
Father Emperor, last night, your son was occupied arranging relief for the floods in 2 regions. I had no intention of slighting the princess. I beg you to see this clearly, Father Emperor. Moreover, this is a private matter of my inner household. In my haste to settle family affairs, I have disturbed the court. I beseech you to punish me accordingly. We can discuss all this once we're back at the residence.
Don't drag your majesty into this any further.
Prince Jing sharing a bed with another woman on our wedding night. That is something I witnessed with my own eyes.
I wouldn't dare deceive your majesty, Lady Shen. This fuss is one thing if kept within the household, but how could it be brought before the court? He shows not the slightest regard for a woman's reputation.
The Shen family's legitimate daughter has been out in the public eye all these years. She is no match for a noble family's former wife in propriety. To drag a scandal like this right into the heart of the court, she has got no shame at all.
Exactly. Such vile and indecent talk. It makes even this old man's face burn with embarrassment. How could words like that ever come from a lady of noble birth? This Shen Nanxing is beyond outrageous.
The Shen family's legitimate daughter is one fierce woman, catching something this scandalous with her own eyes, and hauling it straight before His Majesty. This is a real curse on the Nanyang Marquis's household.
Oh dear. I was wondering how the new princess ended up with that injured foot. Must have been rushing out barefoot at dawn to catch them in the act, right?
The courtiers are all glued to the spectacle now, eyes fixed on those 3 kneeling in the grand hall.
Your Majesty, my granddaughter has endured such profound humiliation. I beg your Majesty to deliver justice for her. You shut your mouth this instant. Marquis of Nanyang, how do you plan to deal with this?
Old Marquis Shen's body shuddered as His Majesty addressed him by his noble title, a clear sign that His Majesty was seething with anger. But in this affair, his granddaughter had been deeply wronged, and he simply couldn't swallow it. So if your Majesty must vent your fury, aim it over there.
The old minister humbly begs your Majesty to grant permission for his granddaughter to seek divorce by mutual consent from King Jing. What insolence! Since the founding of the state of Beiyue, there has only been repudiation by the husband, never divorce by mutual consent. And since time immemorial, which noble prince or aristocrat doesn't have 3 wives and 4 concubines? Just because a husband takes 1 concubine and she demands divorce by mutual consent, won't the whole state of Beiyue descend into chaos?
After a stern rebuke, the emperor's tone softened once more.
Shen Nanxing, King Jing abandoned you on your wedding night. That is on him. How about I dock his salary for a year as punishment?
Shen Nanxing let out a bitter laugh. A mere year's salary cut, and you think that'll settle things?
Well, fine, Father Emperor, punish him if you must. But let's call this matter closed.
Your Majesty, the state of Beiyue has no precedent for divorce by mutual consent. So this divine lady humbly requests just 1 letter of repudiation and begs your Majesty's approval.
Your Majesty, my granddaughter is still so young. What she said just now was nothing but nonsense. Please, Your Majesty, pay it no mind. They were wed just yesterday, and today he is already seeking to divorce her. Isn't that the height of folly? If you truly can't stomach this outrage, then I shall decree her death, and that will settle the matter. Will that satisfy you?
Before Shen Nanxing could even get a word in, Shi Tingyu flew into a panic first.
Father, no! Father, this is a private family affair. The fault lies solely with me, your son. It has nothing to do with anyone else. I beg you, Father, do not drag others into this. If there must be punishment, let it fall on me alone.
But the emperor fell silent for a long while, his eyes fixed solely on the grandfather and granddaughter kneeling in the hole below.
Xing, 1,000 wrongs, 10,000 faults. It is all my doing. I'll do anything you ask of me. Just please don't let father have him killed.
Your Majesty, though the girl did engage in an illicit liaison with Prince Jing, her crime does not merit death. I beseech your Majesty to show leniency.
All right then, thank you. I knew you still had a place for me in your heart. I'll treat you right from here on out.
But Shen Nangxing presses on.
Shen Nangxing's jealousy has already violated one of the 7 grounds for divorcing a wife. She humbly requests a divorce decree and begs your Majesty's gracious approval.
Shen Nangxing, don't bite the hand that feeds you. You disguised yourself as a man and led your brother into battle for years, committing the crime of deceiving your sovereign ages ago. In consideration of the Nanyang Marquis House and the Duke of Zhenguo's founding merits, I've not only spared your life, but even allowed you to wed into the imperial family. And now, you're not just ungrateful, you're clinging to your so-called purity, all because my son favored another woman. And now you're kicking up a fuss for a divorce, but even allowed you to wed into the imperial family. And now, you're not just ungrateful, you're holding yourself above it all. Just because my son took another to his bed, and you're throwing a fit, demanding divorce. What kind of scandal is this? When it comes down to it, Prince Jing simply didn't come to your chambers on your wedding night, leaving you alone and neglected. Beyond that, he is committed no great offense. Besides, as a divorced woman, who else would have you? Or are you saying you'd rather shave your head and take the vows as a nun? Anyway, once a woman like you is repudiated by her husband, who would ever marry you? Or are you planning to shave your head and become a nun? This matter ends here. Don't bring it up again.
Shen Nangxing turned her face slightly, glancing at the black-clad man who had remained utterly silent. Ever since he stepped into the grand hall, he hadn't spared her so much as a glance, as if he didn't know her at all. In her previous life, upon hearing of his death, she had rushed to retrieve his body, and on the night he was laid to rest, her once dark tresses had turned stark white overnight. In this life, if it weren't for that moment when she truly intercepted him outside the bridal chamber with King Jing, and later when he discreetly sent her the finest salves for her wounds through a messenger. But now, with his air of complete indifference, she could scarcely believe this was the same man from her past life. One could only say Fu Zhuli was a master at hiding his true feelings.
Your Majesty, I was wed to Prince Jing, truly at my parents' command, and the matchmaker's word. Now that things have reached this pass, I need hide it no longer. In truth, my heart belongs to another. When I cannot wed in this lifetime, then I'd sooner light incense and chant sutras till my dying day to bring an end to this sorrowful existence. Prince Jing feels nothing for me, and my affections lie elsewhere. I beg your Majesty to grant me a divorce decree, so man and wife may part ways, strangers once more.
Oh, you've been childhood sweethearts with Prince Jing since you were a girl. Yet here I am, unaware you fancied some other moonlight dalliance. Pray, tell me, who might this moonlight lover be? Should that man be willing to take you to wife, I'll have Prince Jing grant you the decree at once, and bestow a royal marriage upon you both. How is that?
A mocking smile played across the emperor's face, for all knew Shen Nangxing, the Shen family's cherished daughter, adored Prince Jing, Shating Yu, a truth as plain as day. From the tender age of 2 or 3, Shen Nangxing trailed after Shating Yu like a shadow, piping brother Yu at every turn, and from her earliest days, she'd proclaim to one and all that when she grew up, she'd marry none but brother Yu. Talk of Shen Nangxing chasing some other moonlight fancy, no soul in the whole capital would swallow such a yarn, not even Shating Yu himself.
Alright then, I know you're upset with me, but please don't let anger cloud your judgment, alright? You mean the world to me. Let's make up for our wedding night tonight, and from now on, I'll carve out as much time as I can to be with you. What do you say?
Come on! Enough of this nonsense! Who is it that you truly care for? How could grandfather not see it? It was just that grandfather got carried away in a fit of anger, and misjudged the whole thing. I even went along with your foolishness. Later, grandfather will have a word with King Jing. You two should just make a go of it from here on out.
Seeing my granddaughter so heartbroken earlier, it got to me too. I was furious. That is why I went along with her plea for a divorce, and even let her bring it up right there in court. Shen Nangxing cast another glance at the black-robed man standing at the forefront of the assembled officials. After she'd spoken those words herself, he showed no reaction whatsoever, motionless as a statue. Shen Nangxing felt a spark of irritation. She tore her eyes away, and refused to look at him again.
The thought crossed her mind. As your subject, the new moon being is 9,000 years old.
The moment the words left her lips, the entire court erupted in shock. The officials began whispering and pointing at him in droves. The ministers all started pointing fingers and murmuring about him. Lord Shen, the old marquis, grew frantic too.
Hey, what on earth are you babbling about?
9,000 years was involved as Prince Li by his majesty in his youth, commanding the vast eastern depot, wielding immense power, a butcher who kills without batting an eye, with an eccentric and reclusive nature, never warming to anyone, utterly impossible to deal with. But setting all that aside, just think of his physical condition. He is no true man at all. To have my granddaughter enter a sham marriage with him.
This absolutely cannot be, Your Majesty. My granddaughter, overcome with grief, spoke wildly and without thought. I beg Your Majesty not to take it to heart. We withdraw a plea for the divorce decree. Today, this old minister and his granddaughter have disrupted the court. Please, Your Majesty, punish us accordingly.
Minister Fu, you've heard it too. Consort Jing wants a divorce decree, and then to marry you. Are you willing to take her as your wife?
In that instant, the entire court fell silent. All eyes burned with anticipation, silently devouring the juiciest scandal since Beiyue's founding. From the moment Shen Nanxing awoke in her rebirth, she'd resolved to cling to his side for this lifetime. First, to repay his kindness. Second, to borrow his power for her revenge. And the surest way to stay by his side was to marry him. He'd probably be open to it. After all, in her previous life, he'd gone to such length for her. The court hung in silence for a beat. The man didn't so much as shift, not even adjusting his stance. He simply uttered two words, slow and deliberate.
I won't marry.
After the session ended, Shi Tingyu, face flushed with urgency, didn't spare Shen Nanxing a glance. Before striding out of the palace, Shen Nanxing had a time to mutter, for no sooner had he stepped out of the hall than her grandfather grabbed her by the ear.
Shen Yanheng, you tell me straight up. Why'd you blurt it out in the imperial court that you want to marry that 9,000-year-old fine catch who has been snipped clean?
Grandpa, keep it down, will ya? My ears are gonna go deaf.
The old man bristles his mustache and glares at her, puffing his cheeks in sullen silence.
Fine. Can I just come clean with you? Grandpa, that Wang fella's got no eyes for me, and I sure don't want to waste away in his princely mansion for the rest of my life. You know what a wild streak I've got.
Like I don't know your wild ways inside out. You've grown up, big and strong. Flaky as they come on everything. Except for that one thing you stuck to like glue. Falling head over heels for that Shi Tingyu boy.
Yeah.
Your one big dream as a kid was tying the knot with that boy. Anything tied to him. That is the only stuff you'd throw yourself into. You were scrawny as a pig's liver back then. Your mom could beg you all day to pack on some pounds and it'd fall on deaf ears. Till your old man here pulled a fast one on you. Claiming that boy went for fuller figured goals. And that is when you started shoveling down a heaping bowl at every meal. And those 8 years you spent disguised as your brother. You must have sewn over 100 pouches for that boy, right? I never knew a thing about needlework to begin with. Yet you went and pricked your fingers till they were full of holes, like a sieve.
You knew right from the start that I wasn't my brother. When did you figure it out?
You and Beiyue may look exactly alike. But your expressions, your habits, and all those little mannerisms are worlds apart. This old man watched you both grow up with his own eyes. So how could you possibly fool me? The very first day you stepped in as Beiyue, this old man saw right through it. Beiyue started training with this old man at 4 years old, holding horse stands for 2 hours straight without shedding a tear, and he sure wouldn't sneak off to play the moment. My back was turned.
Back then, at that age, you knew I wasn't your brother, so why didn't you ever say anything? You raised me right alongside him, like I was your own son.
All these 8 years, she has been meticulously mimicking her brother's every gesture, convinced that only she and her mother knew the truth.
Yeah. All right, enough about that. Yesterday's mess was all Prince Jing's fault, and His Majesty fined him a full year's salary. As for that young lady, His Majesty went easy on her too, just 30 strokes of the board. So, let's just put this whole thing behind us. And from now on, settle down and make a good life with Prince Jing. Today's fiasco has already made us the laughingstock of the court. You absolutely mustn't breathe another word of that ridiculous nonsense about marrying the 9000-year-old. You hear me?
Grandfather, my feelings for Prince Jing are gone. My heart belongs to the 9000-year-old.
For the 9000-year-old's sake, I've already turned you down in front of the entire court of civil and military officials. Besides, what is it about the 9000-year-old that has you so smitten?
That he is handsome.
Shi Tingyu bolted straight out of the palace gates, his court robes drenched in sweat, clinging uncomfortably to his skin. But he couldn't have cared less. He didn't even have time to unhitch the carriage. Mounting his horse instead, he spurred it toward Prince Jing's residence at full gallop. He hadn't gotten far when a black palanquin appeared out of nowhere, blocking the road just ahead. Once he could make out the palanquin's dark silhouette, no matter how desperately urgent his mission, he had no choice but to yank the reins and pull up short.
Lord 9000, this prince has urgent business to attend to back at the manor. So if Lord 9000 could kindly make way, this prince will personally call on you to express his thanks another day.
But the black sedan remains utterly still. Prince Jing rides his horse back and forth dozens of times, seething with impatience. Yet the forebearers stand firm on the spot, watching impassively, with not the slightest intention of lifting the sedan.
Is Lord 9000 waiting for this prince here, perhaps on some matter of state to discuss with me?
He waits a good while, but receives no response.
Lord 9000, this is outrageous!
My master is resting inside the sedan. No noise allowed.
Prince Jing's face darkens, yet he lowers his voice considerably.
This prince truly has urgent matters and must hurry back to the manor. Besides, the road is crowded with passers-by. It is far too noisy. But Lord 9000 should return to the prince's manor to rest.
What a peculiar fellow, choosing to rest right in the middle of the road.
Prince Jing, it seems you're meddling a bit too much. My master rests wherever he pleases, and that is no concern of yours.
Prince Jing lets out a heavy sigh, his chest heaving with frustration. Yet, he is powerless to act. Lord 9000 always travels in a black sedan. Rumors say his forebearers are all formidable warriors. It is said that whenever they strike, they've never known defeat. Just like their master, they never bother with reason. Countless court officials harbor grievances against them, yet all are powerless against them. For besides his own immense power, His Majesty holds him in utmost trust. He is used to being indulged. Any clash with him, it is always the other side's fault.
I urge your highness the king of Jing to turn back to the manor instead, lest you delay your highness's important affairs.
This is the shortest path, back to the prince's mansion. If we take a detour, we'll have to double back the way we came, then circle around a long way, making it nearly twice the distance. If we go that roundabout route, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But if we don't detour, standing our ground here won't solve anything either.
His gaze darkened with shadows, and after a deep heavy sigh, he spurred his horse around to depart. Then a voice, cool and detached, echoed from within the sedan.
In North Yuan, nothing is more taboo than favoring concubines over wives. I urge King Jing to always bear his station in mind.
This prince thanks the venerable elder for his pointed counsel.
With that, he shook the reins and galloped swiftly away.
Just a few more years of endurance. Only a few more years to bear.
Once King Jing had ridden far into the distance, the sedan lifted and set off, ambling leisurely back to Prince Li's mansion. Take the master back to the house. The 4 sedan bearers huddled together.
What do you all think? Why did the master go out of his way to block Shi Tianyu's path, and even give him that stern talking to?
Do you even need to ask? The master has the Northern Yue realm at heart, and that fool crossed the line with Northern Yue. So isn't it only natural for the master to give him a little warning?
But a mere Prince Jing, really worth the master making a special trip?
You guys just don't get it, do you? Word is, today in court, Princess Shen Nanxing, who just wed King Jing yesterday, confessed, Crescent Moon, I want to marry our master. Sure, the master might not think much of him, but when a girl's laid her heart bare like that, lending a hand feels only right.
Perched in the branches of the great elm nearby, Ling Yue shook her head.
4 fools.
Halfway there, her grandfather was summoned away by His Majesty's verbal decree. So Shen Nanxing returned alone to the Nanyang Marquis's residence. She headed straight for the plum courtyard. She wanted to see her mother first, but as soon as she stepped into the courtyard, she heard the crash and smash of things being hurled about.
Physician Shen! Have you no conscience left?
It is I'm just letting you know today. This isn't up for discussion. If you dare mess this up, don't hold it against me if I don't spare you for old time's sake.
The man stormed off, flinging his sleeves in fury. Shen Nanxing then crossed the threshold when she spotted her father striding out from the courtyard.
You only married Prince Jing yesterday. So, what brings you rushing back here today?
Father knows full well I married Prince Jing yesterday, and now I'm an imperial noblewoman. So why shouldn't I pay my respects when I see you?
Even if you marry the King of Heaven himself, you're still my daughter. And there is no such absurdity under the heavens as a father bowing to his own daughter. Enough. I've got pressing matters to handle. So hurry back to Prince Jing's manor. And stop causing me headaches all the time.
With that, he didn't spare his daughter another glance, and marched away without looking back. Shen Nanxing could easily guess why he was in such a blazing rush, and where he was headed. In her previous life, it was just after her wedding that this so-called father of hers elevated concubine Chu to co-wife status, putting her on equal footing with her own mother from then on. And the concubine Chu's pair of children naturally became the legitimate son and daughter of the Nanyang Marquis mansion. And after her grandfather's passing, her half-brother even smoothly succeeded to the marquisate.
What the hell is this? They won't get a damn thing they want.
Shen Nanxing pushes open the door, and all she sees is utter chaos. A woman in a pink-fitted gown slumped on the floor.
Mother, copying her style like this, isn't that just dragging yourself through the mud?
Worried. What are you supposed to do?
What the hell are you gonna do?
Your father, he is set on elevating that lowly wench to equal wife, giving her the same status and privileges as me from now on. And he claims that my health's too frail. So from here on out, he'll hand over the household affairs to that wench. He swore to me he'd love only me for the rest of his life. He clearly meant it back then. How could it come to this? From now on, how am I supposed to keep going? How am I even gonna survive this?
Nanxing, mother, I lost my composure and made a fool of myself in front of you.
Mother, I'll never laugh at you. Nanxing never would. Nanxing just aches for you. You're the only legitimate daughter of the Duke of Zhenguo. Your status beyond measure. From childhood, you were cherished like a treasure by grandfather and the whole family. And now, for one man, you've humbled yourself so, stooping to the wiles of a concubine, fawning deliberately for favor. You know that, right? This gown doesn't suit you at all.
But your father favors women like her.
So, she loves dressing this way.
Mother, but this is the kind of dress a Jizi from the Gulen Cortezan house would wear, all to lure men in. The you I remember was a master of music, chess, calligraphy, and painting, brimming with talent, utterly noble. There is no need to debase yourself like this for a man like father. Just think, seeing you like this, if grandfather and your 3 uncles were to find out, how heartbroken they'd be.
But, mother, for your father,
it has been 16 years since I've reached out to them. They surely wouldn't even recognize me anymore.
It is all my fault. I couldn't judge people right, and I loved all the wrong ones. Not only did I fail in my duty to your father and me,
but I dragged you into this mess, making you suffer right alongside me. I was so wrong, my child.
8 years ago, when your brother passed away,
I forced you to take his place, forced you to train in martial arts, all to keep this marquisate from falling into someone else's hands.
But now, your true identity as a woman has only just come out.
And you only married into Prince Jing's residence yesterday. Yet your father is already rushing to elevate that woman to equal wife,
just so he can groom that illegitimate son as his heir,
setting him up to claim the title one day.
We're finished.
Utterly crushed.
Estranged from my own family.
Unable to hold my husband's heart. And now even the marquisate has to be handed over to an illegitimate son.
Lady Shu drowns in overwhelming sorrow, when suddenly something dawns on her, her eyes flickering with a spark of light as she clutches her daughter's hand.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Nanxing, you got to marry Prince Jing, just as you hoped. You and Prince Jing, childhood sweethearts from the start. I made you disguise yourself as a boy for all those years,
nearly destroying your chance at happiness with him.
But thankfully, you two made it through and tied the knot.
Prince Jing's loved you since you were little.
So from here on, you and Prince Jing just live a good life together. That is the only solace I have left. Yaxing, you have to be happy.
Mother, even though father treats you that way, you still love him, right?
All right then, the reason father has taken such a shine to that woman is simply because she bore him a son. He's just looking out for his boy. He still has me in his heart. When he first got involved with that woman, it was because she reminded him a bit of me. And now, it is just that she is so good at wrapping him around her finger. That is what has got him all muddled up for the moment. Plus, he is still sore at me for deceiving him about you dressing as a boy.
Lady Shu's words tumble out in a jumbled mess. But as she goes on, beneath her daughter's gaze that seems to pierce right through her, she trails off, unable to continue. Shen Nanxing ought to be furious. Furious that her mother, for the sake of one man, can't tell right from wrong like this. After all, her father has been deceiving her mother from the very start, and now he is even planning to elevate his concubine to co-wife, all to seize the marquisate's title. He has humiliated her mother to this extent, yet her mother still can't let him go. But she has no right to judge her mother, because in her previous life, she was just the same, if not even worse.
Never mind. You only have so few children left. It is precious, isn't it? Mother, yesterday, in a moment of carelessness, I hit my head and some memories came flooding back. 8 years ago, my brother and I slipped and fell off the cliff behind Huashan Temple. It wasn't because we were fooling around and slipped by accident. Someone pushed us.
What are you saying? You were only 8 back then. Just innocent kids. So pure and lovely, like fresh snow. Who on earth would want to harm you? And those 2 maids who were watching over you, they both said they saw you playing around and slipping off the edge with their own eyes. How could anyone have pushed you? Liang Xin, you were so young at the time. You must be mixing it up.
Shen Nanxing locked eyes with his mother, unwavering, unflinching.
Mother, what are you so afraid of?
It can't be. It just can't. How could that even be possible? All right, then take a good, hard think about it. It had to be you 2 messing around, misstepping without realizing. That is what happened.
Mother, I remember it clearly. It was a man in black who pushed my brother and me off the cliff. In my panic, I tore off his mask.
It was Lan Xing!
Madame Xu suddenly interjected, cutting off Shen Nanxing's words.
All right, Mother, you'd better hurry back to Prince Jing's residence, lest Prince Jing grows impatient. Shahi, help me to rest!
Yes, madam.
A young maid entered, and after bowing to Shen Nanxing, she helped Madame Xu into the inner chamber.
Never mind. Give her some time. Being forced to accept these gory truths, for a mother who was pampered all her life, is truly cruel.
Shen Nanxing let out a soft sigh, stood there for a moment, and finally turned to leave. She had just lied to her mother. She hadn't actually seen with her own eyes who pushed her and her brother. But after her death, Fu Zhuli settled scores with everyone who had wronged her in life. The identity of the one who pushed her and her brother off the cliff finally came to light. It was Autumn Concubine's cousin. And in this matter, her own father was the mastermind. So later, her father was found colluding with Prince Jing, convicted of treason and sentenced to death by 1,000 cuts. She watched the execution alongside Fu Zhuli, feeling nothing but satisfaction. After leaving the Nanyang Hao mansion, he headed straight to Zuixinzhai, the most renowned pastry shop on Chang'an Avenue, ordering a delightful assortment of pastries that filled 2 large boxes to the brim. He also called for 2 pots of sweet wine, then settled alone in a private booth and tucked in with gusto. You see, it had been decades since he'd last eaten anything, and these lifelong favorites, pastries and sweet wine, left him utterly defenseless. Shen Nanxing stubbornly polished off an entire box of pastries, 1 pot of sweet wine, cramming it all down before finally relenting. His eyes drifted to the remaining box of pastries and pot of sweet wine, and he swallowed hard.
No. No more eating. Gotta save the rest to sweet talk, Fu Zhuli.
He rose unsteadily to his feet, one hand clutching a box of pastries, the other gripping a pot of sweet wine, staggering off every which way toward Princeless Mansion.
I was clearly on the verge of winning. How did I suddenly end up losing in the blink of an eye?
The man in black extended his finger and pointed at a few spots on the board, then fell silent and ignored me completely.
You're incredible.
It is just that your highness's Go skills aren't quite up to snuff.
No way. The Taifu who teaches Go in the palace says I've got real talent, you know.
Seeing the man still wearing that impassive expression, the boy turned his eyes with a sly glint, suppressing a mischievous grin.
Liwa, I heard that during this morning's court audience, Shan Nangxing said to Xingyue, you still want to marry him. So, what is the real story here?
Sister Tian, it is getting late. Your Highness should head back to the palace soon.
Prince Li, come on, just spill it to me. I swear I won't tell a soul. But Shen Nangxing is really something else. At just 8 years old, he followed old Marquis Shen into battle across the lands, and racked up victory after victory. The moment he laid eyes on his daughter, she proved fiercer than most boys, and through her own grit rose to become North Yue's youngest general. A true heroine among women. A woman of such rare grace. It is a shame my brother Prince Jing doesn't know how to cherish her, even leaving her out in the cold on their wedding night, forcing her to spend the night alone in an empty chamber. If it were I who married her,
I would never let her feel neglected even for a moment.
A cold male voice cut in, breaking off the young prince's words, mid-sentence.
Liwa, did you ever refuse Shen Nangxing? I heard you turned her down right in front of all the court officials. You don't like her one bit. She is incredibly skilled, and so strikingly beautiful.
Your Highness is all grown up now. So tomorrow, I'll petition His Majesty to bestow some lovely ladies upon you, lest your Highness fret too much and fall behind in your studies.
Fu Jiuli, if you dare submit that kind of memorial to Father Emperor, I'll be absolutely furious.
The young prince could stand it no longer, rising and storming off in a rage. The man sat alone at the stone table. He picked up the chess pieces once more, white stones in his left hand, black stones in his right, placing them one by one, gradually filling the entire board. And upon closer inspection, the whole setup was in disarray.
What is causing all this noise?
A shadowy figure dropped down before him like a bolt of lightning.
My lord, it is Miss Shen. She has forced her way in.
What?
It is Miss Shen from Nanjing. She said your gatekeeper wouldn't let her through, so she forced her way in.
Our mansion's guards
were the match for her. But her moves...
What about them?
She's got some serious skills.
Cold wind almost said her moves felt eerily familiar, but he couldn't quite place why, so he let it drop.
Let's go take a look.
Cold wind instinctively got up to trail behind him, but just as he started to step forward, he caught his master adding,
No need to follow. When you've got time, drill the mansion guards properly.
The Imperial Mansion's guards have such fine martial prowess. No other house in the capital can hold a candle to them, right? But they still lost to Miss Shen. And now the master's given the order, so might as well train them silly.
Fu Jiuli reached the front courtyard and spotted the woman in that same green gown from her morning court session, though she'd swapped out her shoes. No blood on the uppers now.
Here, these are for you. Pastries and sweet wine from Zuishan Tower. Your absolute favorites. Picked up special, just for you. Waited, in the longest line. Didn't even spill a drop during the grand procession. Kept 'em safe and sound.
The man's hand hanging loose at his side twitched upward just a bit, then eased back down unseen.
Consort Jing.
I brought you some food. Pastries and sweet wine from Drunken Star Pavilion. Don't you like them?
Princess Jing, you've got it wrong. This king has never had a sweet tooth.
Shen Nangxing didn't mind a bit. Seeing he didn't want any, she casually set the pastries and sweet wine down on the stone table nearby. Once she'd set them aside, she spun around and tiptoed up to wrap her arms around the man's neck.
I'm not the Jin princess. Don't go throwing that title around.
Fu Jiuli was totally caught off guard as Shen Nangxing flung herself right into his embrace. In an instant, his entire body went rigid, frozen, solid.
Please, your Highness, mind your manners.
Not letting go, unless you stop calling me Princess Jing.
The man's hands rose slightly, as if to push her away. But in the end, they just fell back down. With the woman pressed in so close, he could already catch her scent. The wine on her skin was fresh and utterly intoxicating.
That is not Princess Jing, so what should I call you?
You're such an idiot. You should call me Princess Li. The Prince of 9,000 Years is quite the looker, isn't he? That is my husband.
Your Highness, please watch your words.
He was starting to get irritated. Irritated at his own reckless flirtation. And even more so at how, just moments ago, his body had refused to listen to him, turning that shove into something with real force behind it. But who could have guessed the woman who just single-handedly taken down the palace guards, leaving them utterly defenseless? That very woman now lay there as meek as a little lamb, toppled over from his lightest push, crumbling straight to the ground.
Shen Nangxing, get up.
A long moment passed with no reply. The man drew in a deep breath, reaching down to pull her to her feet. But as he leaned in to look, he froze. She drifted off to sleep. On Zabai's delicate face, a pair of lashes fluttered like tiny fans, casting soft shadows across her cheeks in the sunset's warm glow. Those faint little shadows, making her look so utterly endearing. She was sleeping so peacefully.
My lord, your orders.
Escort Princess Qing back to her residence.
It was Fu Zhuli.
Send him back to the Nanyang Marquise's mansion.
Lang Yue's steps faltered, and he complied with the formalities, not daring to linger a moment longer. He sped away, vanishing like smoke in the wind. Fu Zhuli lingered there for a moment, his gaze drifting to the nearby stone table, where Shen Nanxing had just placed a box of pastries and a jug of sweet wine. With a sigh, he simply sat down. Fu Zhuli poured himself a small cup of sweet wine, brought it to his lips, and downed it in one gulp. His brows furrowed at once.
The taste was all wrong. It carried none of the wine's aroma from his breath, just an overly cloying sweetness. That left a sour note. Perhaps the drink that got him so soothed wasn't this stuff at all, just some mild sweet wine like this. How could it have left him in such a state?
Fu Zhuli, still muddled from his drunken ramblings, shook his head, stunned for a beat before lifting his hand. A shadow in black dropped silently before him.
Go look into it. What did the princess consort run into today? Once you have the details, report back at once.
I opened my eyes and saw the familiar white canopy hanging overhead. He rubbed his temples, feeling a bit dazed. He clearly remembered picking up pastries and sweet wine from the drunken new tower and heading to Prince Li's mansion, hoping Fu Zhuli could help him out, to talk his dad out of elevating that concubine to wife. So why on earth is he back at the Nanyang Marquise's residence right now? He sat up abruptly, suddenly realizing it was already the next day. His father was set to make that decision today.
Miss, you're awake. Miss, Prince Jing's been waiting for you in the main hall for ages. Little Peach. Jinxiu, how did you two end up here?
Yesterday, when he went into the palace with his grandfather, he'd told the two of them to head back to Prince Jing's mansion first.
So how could Wu Yu be here?
He'd clearly gone to Prince Li's mansion yesterday, and then the gatekeeper wouldn't let him in. He sort of thinks he got into a fight at Prince Li's mansion. After that, nothing, total blank. Shen Nanxing buried his face in his hands. In this life, he just wanted to get along with him properly. But on the very first day after being reborn, he'd already beaten up the guards in his mansion.
How did I get back home? Yesterday. Miss, yesterday, you went alone to Zuixing Tower to drink and got totally wasted. So you told the innkeeper to head to Prince Jing's residence and fetch us too, saying to have us bring you back to the Marquise's manor first. You don't remember that? Really? Of course. It is true. Yesterday, this servant and Chunxiang went personally to Zuixing Tower to pick you up. When we found you, you were passed out on the table in the private room. Miss, Prince Jing was really out of line yesterday. No wonder you went to Zuixing Tower to drown your sorrows. But Prince Jing showed up at the Marquise's manor bright and early to see you. He is waiting in the main hall right now. He heard you weren't up yet. The master said to send someone to wake you, but Prince Jing wouldn't hear of it, insisting he wasn't in any rush. Just wait till you've rested well then. Come see me. Prince Jing must realize he was wrong by now. As soon as he got back from the palace yesterday, he had that new favorite flogged, heard that wench in the inner courtyard, took a full 30 strokes. Her screams echoed through the whole estate. That ought to feel satisfying. Miss, Prince Jing knows he is in the wrong, and he came over first thing to fetch you. He must treasure you more than anything. Yesterday's mess was probably just a moment of folly, and now he has seen the light, and you care for him so deeply. Why not forgive him?
Xiaotao kept chattering on and on, but Shen Nanxing didn't take in a single word. So she didn't head to Prince Li's mansion at all yesterday, nor did she deliver those fresh vegetarian pastries and the sweet wine to Fu Zhuli, and she certainly didn't barge into Prince Li's place. It was all just a dream she had while drunk, and that hazy moment when she seemed to hold him close. That had to be part of the dream too. Shen Nanxing let out a deep sigh of relief, just as she thought, how could she have been so bold and reckless, since it was all a dream? Then there is nothing to it.
So, what time is it now? Miss, it is almost noon already. The manager at Qinghui New Tower said you only had a few pastries yesterday. You must be starving by now. I've prepared some snacks for you. Go ahead and have a bite to tide you over. Miss, why don't you go see Prince Jing first? He has been waiting for you 2 hours now, and you can join him for lunch, right after Little Peach. Miss is hungry. Sorry, miss. I'm just a little peach. I know you're only thinking of what is best for me. How about this? Go let Prince Jing know. I'll come see him as soon as I'm done eating. Of course, miss.
Little Peach's face lit up with a beaming smile at once, and she spun around, heading out with light, lively steps. Shen Naxing took small sips of her lean meat porridge as she asked,
Chancellor, do you have something to tell me? Miss, yesterday, that lady in Xinglan Courtyard did indeed take 30 strokes of the heavy cane, but from what I can gather, it wasn't the Wing King's intention. Yesterday, I saw the Wing King galloping back on horseback, riding straight into the estate, heading all the way to Xinglan Courtyard, his face etched with anxiety. I figured King Jing wouldn't rush back just to see her beaten himself. I suspect King Jing got word that the woman was about to be punished and hurried back to shield her, but he couldn't stop it. Miss, I don't mean to speak ill of King Jing. I'm just worried you'll be taken in. Oh, you. Always so perceptive. And you nailed it. That woman was facing 30 strokes by His Majesty's command. King Jing rushed back just to protect her. And if he couldn't shield her, at least he could stay by her side.
Shen Naxing recalled something, a subtle smile curving her lips, stars sparkling in her eyes. Yesterday in the imperial court, he demanded a divorce decree, which enraged His Majesty. On top of that, King Jing and he both pleaded for mercy. So His Majesty decided against punishing that woman. His plea wasn't out of some sudden burst of kindness to spare her. Of course, he just figured stabbing her outright would let her off way too easy. After all, in his past life, his own death alongside his grandfather's, his mother's demise, the brutal ends of the loyal maids and servants from the Nanyang Marquise's household, and the total annihilation of his maternal uncle and aunt's entire family, their nephews and nieces included. All those horrific fates were inextricably tied to that conniving half-sister of his. This time around, he'll keep her alive, picking her apart bit by bit with his revenge, stripping away everything she ever craved, one agonizing piece at a time. But just as everyone assumed that woman would escape unscathed, Fu Jiuli spoke up.
Favoring a concubine over a wife is the gravest taboo in Beiyu, and the King Jing has always been a man of reason. For him to commit such a scandal now must surely be the result of that woman's seduction. She deserves punishment. Though it is not a capital offense, she can't escape a harsh penalty. I suggest Your Majesty order 30 strokes of the bastinado.
The emperor, upon hearing this, found it sound advice, and issued the decree right there in court. No amount of pleading from King Jing could sway him now. Shen Naxing still thought yesterday Fu Zhuli was just considering it from the standpoint of courtly rights. Oh, to safeguard the nation's honor, that is why he brought it up. But now, thinking it through, I'm starting to suspect he did it to vent on my behalf. 30 strokes of a cane won't kill anyone, but it'll leave the body in ruins, bedridden for months before you can even hobble around.
Miss, you're not mad at this servant of yours, are you? You've always had my best interest at heart, putting thought into every little thing for me. So why on earth would I be mad at you? But didn't you always forbid anyone from bad-mouthing Qingmeng? Back then, there must have been water in my brain, and now it is all spilled out. Shall we go pay King Jing a visit?
In my past life, just because Changxing spoke out a few times about how King Jing wasn't right for me, he banished her back to the Nanyang Marquise estate and never let her serve at my side again.
Miss, please hurry inside. The Sword King has been waiting forever.
Shen Naxing nodded, then stepped inside. He'd barely made it through the door when a teacup hurtled straight at his face.
You ungrateful wretch! Married to King Jing, yet not content to stay in the palace. What is the point of sneaking back here? Daring to sleep in, keeping King Jing waiting half the day. You've got some nerve.
Shen Naxing tilted his head aside, and the teacup whistled past his cheek. Everyone in the capital knows Nanyang Marquise's only son is a total good-for-nothing, clueless in both letters and arms. It is no secret among the nobles, the idle chatter of the elite over tea and snacks. But that fierce gust from the teacup grazing his cheek just now makes it clear to Shen Naxing his old man isn't nearly as simple as he seems on the surface. He is not just a master of martial arts, he is channeling real inner energy too.
Could it be he has been playing the fool all these years? But what is the angle in that? I'll have to dig into this later. Dad, you only know Prince Jing came looking for me, but I got here a bit late. Why don't you ask what Prince Jing did? I was perfectly fine. So why would I run back to my parents' home the day after our wedding?
Prince Jing hurried to his feet, his face full of worry as he came to Shen Naxing's side.
Nancy, are you okay?
He reached out to take Shen Nangsing's hand, worried she might be hurt, but she casually brushed her hair and dodged his grasp.
Dad, Nangsing married me, so she is my princess consort. How could you lay a hand on her?
You're absolutely right, Your Highness Prince Jing. I just wasn't used to it yet, and in my anger a moment ago, I overlooked that. It won't happen again. See how Prince Jing's standing up for you. You're truly blessed and don't even know it. Throwing a fit over something so trivial with Prince Jing.
Dad, don't let him fool you. He was outrageous yesterday.
Okay, Prince Jing's already explained it to me. It is just one woman, and you can't even tolerate that. How will you manage the household as the lady of the prince's mansion in the future? Prince Jing is a noble prince, after all. Do you really expect him to stay faithful to just you forever? He came here in person today to see you. A little tantrum is one thing, but you can't just keep hiding out at the Marquise's mansion forever, can you? Xiao Tao, go pack the princess consort's things right now. She is going back to the mansion with Prince Jing.
Are you going or not?
All right, Nancy, don't be mad anymore. Brother Yu knows he was wrong. From now on, will Brother Yu stay by your side alone?
What about her?
You mean that woman?
Yesterday, His Majesty ordered her caned 30 strokes. She's barely hanging on by a thread now. Lord Ri sent men overnight to whisk her off to a manor in the countryside. She probably won't last much longer. Let's not mention her anymore. Don't spoil the mood. Madam, return to the Jing Prince's mansion with Brother Yu.
I heard that woman came from the Galen Institute or something. Yesterday, I only caught a quick glimpse, but I want to get a good look at her, and I could already tell she had that innate seductiveness. Her alluring figure would make any woman watching swoon with longing. No wonder she mastered all the Galen Institute's tricks. It is no surprise the prince fell for her schemes, and yet, as a proper lady from a good family, how could she stoop to being as shameless as that hussy?
Shen Nansing nodded to herself, deliberately ignoring her scumbag, father's utterly grim expression.
My lord, I am a woman of the Gulen house. Why not send her back to the Gulen house? My humble opinion. If we send her to the manor, it would just squander the manor's rice and grain. But back at the Gulen house, with her looks, she could drum up plenty more business for the place, raking in a tidy sum of silver, which would even benefit North Yue's economy and the people's welfare. My lord, what say you?
Shi Tingyu fought back the urge to smash this woman in front of him with a single punch, forcing a thin smile through gritted teeth.
The consort speaks wisely. I'll have her sent back to the Gulen house as soon as I return.
The words came out with excruciating difficulty, his smile nearly cracking at the seams. Yet, as Yer once said, a moment's impatience can ruin the grand design. Once he seizes control of those troops at his fingertips, he'll repay her for today's humiliation 100-fold, 1,000-fold. Shen Nansing feigned ignorance of the twisted fury on his face, and let out a soft chuckle.
This is, after all, an inner household matter for Prince Jing's residence. Now that I have become Prince Jing's consort, I'll take charge of it myself. I'll be just fine. I'll give birth and send that stepson straight back to Gaolan Courtyard. After all, Gaolan Courtyard's still counting on him to bring in the silver.
With that, she slipped her arm through Prince Jing's, her voice all honey charm.
Brother Jade, shall we head back to the mansion now? We can't afford to miss the hour, and Sir's eager to get back and sort out those matters. This is the very first thing I've tackled since joining Prince Jing's household, and I have to handle it just right, or folks might start looking down on me.
Enough!
A roar of fury cut through the air. Shen Nansing glanced up, and there was her deadbeat dad, seething with rage, his face all flushed red.
Looking fit to burst any second. Serves him right! Heavens! What has gotten into you? Your daughter's right here discussing with Prince Jing how to handle that stepson from Gaolan Courtyard. So, what seems off to you?
No, father, just thinks it is a minor issue. Since Prince Jin already said he'd have someone take care of it, you don't need to bother with it. You're the dignified consort of Prince Jin, diving into something so unseemly the moment you step into the mansion. If word gets out, it won't reflect well on you. Don't you agree?
Since you're saying so, then I'll leave this matter in your hands. I trust you'll handle it perfectly. Right, my lord.
Yes. I won't let the princess down. So, shall we head back now?
Gotta sweet talk this woman back quick. Consummate the marriage tonight. Then, in the heat of passion, seize the moment to coax her and get that iron cavalry talisman from her.
Jade, brother, no need for me to handle the sacrificial rite just yet. It has been so long since I last chatted with mother. And today I just want to stay and keep her company. Is that alright? Jade, brother. You know, all those years I spent disguised as my brother, fighting alongside grandfather on the battlefield. Year after year, I hardly ever got to see mother. And it has only been a few months since I reclaimed my true self as a woman. Ever since I married you, those months flew by in a whirlwind of wedding preparations. Now that the procession's safely returned, I just want to spend one more night here at the Nanyang Marquise's residence.
She can't go back today. She still needs to seek Fu Zhuli's help later. Otherwise, if that scumbag father really elevates Aunt Chu to equal consort, mother will be bullied mercilessly.
Since Nangsing shows such filial devotion, then stay another day at the Nanyang Marquise's residence. And I'll come fetch you tomorrow, alright?
This guy's love for Shen Zhiyi runs bone deep. That is for sure. Sending her off to the countryside, to some estate. Who does he think he is fooling? He has got to have her stashed away in some fancy villa. His secret love nest. Can't shake it off. The Jing Palace just gained another Shen.
Nansing stared at Xi Tingyu's retreating figure, lost in a daze, when his father Zha's voice cut in from behind.
Nansing, even if King Jing agrees to let you stay with your mother, you'd better keep her company properly. I'm sure your mother already told you that today I'll be promoting your Aunt Chu to equal wife. You'll keep an eye on her and make sure she doesn't stir up any trouble. Otherwise, don't say I didn't warn you. I'll show no mercy.
With that, he flicked his sleeves and stormed out.
Master! Master!
Hey, what is all the fuss? Don't you know any manners? Can't you just speak calmly?
Master!
Master! Someone's here from the palace with an imperial decree.
You're gaping at? Hurry up and lead the way.
Shen Yuan hurried to the main gate, where he found Eunuch His Majesty's trusted aide standing there with a sly grin.
Lord Shen, you're over the moon. It is for your lady wife. Hurry and call her out to receive the decree.
This imperial edict. It is really for my wife.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Lord Shen, you've gone daft with joy, haven't you? Hurry and send for the lady to come receive the decree.
Shen Yuan was utterly bewildered for a moment. After all, this eunuch Wei was a favorite at His Majesty's side, known for fawning over the high and mighty, while deigning to show a little respect to officials of third rank and above. But for someone of his lowly rank, not even qualified to attend morning court before a petty official like him, Eunuch Gui always looked down his nose, like his eyes were in the clouds.
It had to be that Chur had done something truly remarkable. Enough for His Majesty to send a special edict praising her.
Yeah, that is it.
Char had always been the kindest soul. So if a good deed of hers caught His Majesty's eye, that is hardly surprising. Hurry and have the lady come to the Marquise's gate to receive the decree.
He pulled a hefty pouch of silver from his bosom.
Thank you, eunuch, for making this trip. Take this bit of silver to buy some tea and snacks. I hope you won't turn your nose up at it, eunuch.
Yeah.
You're too kind, Lord Shen. Eunuch She, mind letting slip a hint. What is this big happy news in the decree? It is nothing short of a huge blessing, but the decree's details. We'll hold off till the lady arrives, then I'll proclaim it.
Oh, well said, Your Excellency. It is just this humble official getting ahead of himself.
He'd been staring toward the inner courtyard, fidgeting with anticipation. But instead of waiting for Chor, in struts Shen Nangsing, that wayward daughter of his, he'd been set on heading to Prince Li's mansion to track down Lord 9000. But before he could even step out, there they were, his deadbeat dad and Eunuchy from the Emperor's side, right at the front gate.
What has brought Eunuchy to our Hao mansion today?
This servant greets the princess consort. This servant's visit to the Hao mansion today is to deliver an imperial decree. We'll proclaim it the moment the lady arrives. Is the princess consort heading out? Why not stick around and hear it together?
Of course, Your Excellency. Then, Nangsing will humbly obey, even if Eunuch Sui is waiting for mother to arrive before proclaiming it. This decree must be meant for her. Yet in my last life around this time, there was no word of any decree from His Majesty to the Hao mansion.
It wasn't long before they spotted, not far off, a lady gliding toward the gate in graceful little steps.
Oh dear, Sur, what kept you so long? Eunuch Gui's been waiting forever.
Husband, you've come to receive His Majesty's imperial edict. Couldn't I at least freshen up a bit? How do I look today?
My Kur is the most beautiful woman in the world. Eunuch Gu, my wife has arrived. You may now proclaim the edict.
I pay my respects to you, Eunuch.
After the two of them knelt down properly, with their maids and servants, Shen Yuan noticed that Shen Nangxing and her maid were still standing.
Shen Nangxing, won't you kneel down at once?
Nanqing, I know you've never liked me, but now Eunuch Gui is about to proclaim the imperial edict. You can't just turn defiant because the edict is meant for me. And refuse to kneel, can you? We've had so many misunderstandings before. I'll apologize to you for them. But no matter what, disrespecting His Majesty, that would be a grave offense.
He got furious the moment he laid eyes on Shen Nangxing. Yesterday, he'd sent someone to check on Ye's condition. And Yi had been given a full 30 strokes of the cane, her flesh torn and bloodied, with barely an inch of unbroken skin on her entire back. If it weren't for King Jing using century-old ginseng to keep her alive, she'd have been beaten to death by now.
Someone, come here! Force Shen Nangxing to her knees!
After Shen Yuan gave the order, he suddenly remembered Eunuch was still standing right there.
Eunuch Gui, the young lady of my humble house is a bit unruly. I hope you won't hold it against us.
Father, the imperial envoy hasn't even arrived yet, so why the rush? Besides, Father, I'm afraid your memory's not what it used to be, since I'm now the princess consort of Jin. And even with your orders, I'm betting none of the servants in this marquise's mansion would dare lay a hand on me. Kneel. Shen Nangxing, what on earth are you babbling about? What do you mean the envoy hasn't shown up? Are you blind? Can't you see me standing right here plain as day? And besides, even if you are the princess consort of Jin, before His Majesty's imperial decree, you still have to kneel. Otherwise, it is nothing short of disrespecting the emperor. You're asking for trouble, but don't go dragging the whole marquise's mansion down with you. Fine. Until you sure know your stuff, don't you? Shen Nangxing, I'm guessing you haven't heard the news yet. Well, today your father's promoting me to equal wife. And after that, I'll be just like your mother. Both of us proper mistresses running this marquise's mansion. So from now on, you'd better show me some respect when you talk. Besides, His Majesty's decree today was issued to me. This is one of a kind in the Hall Mansion. Even your mother, the legitimate daughter of the Duke's mansion, didn't get treatment like this. What are you doing?
Auntie Chu was getting all worked up in her bragging when she felt the man beside her tugging at her sleeve non-stop, interrupting her flow of words. Shen Yuan's face had turned as black as the bottom of a pot.
Eunuch Gui, Father, this concubine truly lacks manners. You've seen something laughable.
I've delivered His Majesty's imperial edicts many times before, but having a concubine receive the decree on behalf of the principal wife, this is the first time I've ever witnessed it. Quite the novelty indeed.
What do you mean by that? This imperial edict isn't for me.
Chor, get up first. Hear me out.
I won't! Shen Yuan, you deliberately called me here just to embarrass me, didn't you? Humiliating me in front of everyone like this.
Does that make you happy?
Wherever his gaze fell, the maids and the servants of the Hao Mansion were all giving him strange looks. He could no longer hold back, collapsed his face and bolted away.
Eunuch, I'm truly sorry. This humble official, I mixed things up by accident. You thought. Lord Shen, no need for more explanations. I get it. But to muddle official business with concubine affairs like that. Lord Shen, you're truly one of a kind.
Eunuch saw Lord Shen's face drain of color, as if he wanted to say more in his defense. But Eunuch Guy just waved him off, and the Lord Shen climbed up at once.
Eunuch Gui, Nangxing's agents have already rebuffed the overtures and kept eyes clear. Why not step inside for a brief rest?
No need to stand on ceremony, Your Highness. Lady Xu's status is indeed exalted. I can wait a moment, no trouble at all.
Her noble birth stems from being the ducal mansion's legitimate daughter before marriage, a status of true prestige. But since tying the knot with that deadbeat, what prestige is left to speak of? She did marry into a marquise's household, true, but it is all propped up by his grandfather's fading shadow, the father clinging to a hollow title. Secondly, his own talents being utterly middling, and even that came just a few years back, all thanks to grandfather's pull, snagging him a measly 7th rank post as proof. A woman follows her husband after marriage. The marquise's house, battered and broken, hasn't crossed paths with the ducal mansion in years. So calling her status noble now, pure folly. Eunuch Shui would actually say such a thing. Could it be?
After waiting about the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, finally, Madame Shu arrived at the gates of the marquise's residence, accompanied by 2 maids.
Mother, you've arrived.
Oh, madam, there you are.
But Madame Shu paid him no mind, instead offering Shen Nangxing only a faint smile and a nod, before gracefully curtsying to Eunuch Ji.
It has been many years. How have you been, Yunakui?
No need for such formalities, Madam Xu. Prepare to receive the decree.
So Shen Nanxing supported Madame Xu as they knelt down together.
By the grace of heaven, the Emperor decrees, Madame Xu, wife of Shen Yuanji of the Nanyang Marquise's residence, of exemplary virtue and moral grace, skilled in harmonious household management, a true paragon for women across the realm, hereby conferred the title of first-rank defuming. Madam, what say you to this decree?
How could Mother have received such a writ?
This humble subject thanks the Lord for his boundless grace. Long live your majesty! Long live forever!
Then rose to their feet, and in a daze, she took the bright yellow scroll of the imperial decree from Eunuch Ji's hands.
Congratulations, Mrs. Xu. Lord Shen, allow this humble servant to say one more thing. Mrs. Xu is virtuous and kind-hearted, and now honored as a madam by decree of rank. I trust Lord Shen will heed the decree and show her due respect. In all things, let the madam take precedence. Oh, right. Before this servant left the palace, His Majesty even praised you, you know.
What did His Majesty say?
His Majesty remarked that over all these years, the inner quarters have held only Mrs. Xu alone, a true paragon of the northern peak. It brings him such great comfort.
Master Guy.
But Master Gui paid no mind to whatever he meant to say, and simply bowed to Mrs. Xu and Shen Nanxing.
Mrs. Xu, now that the princess has delivered the imperial decree, this servant must return to the palace and report back.
Take care on your way, Master Gui.
Shen Nanxing raised the hand in gesture, as Chengxing handed a pouch of silver to Chen Diandian, and they respectfully saw the guests off.
Let me see it.
She pored over the imperial decree, reading it carefully again and again.
How could this possibly be? How could this happen?
His Majesty has decreed my mother be granted the title of Madam of Honor. What is wrong with that? Or perhaps Father thinks this title of Madam of Honor should go to a concubine who clawed her way up through scandalous affairs.
Shen Yuan's face twisted in humiliated fury, crumpling the imperial decree into a wad and brandishing it fiercely.
Hey, disrespecting the imperial decree. That is the same as disrespecting His Majesty himself. If Father wants to feel the full weight of the consequences, go right ahead and try.
Proud Shen man, I am your father.
Shen Yan's face burned with rage on the verge of erupting. Yet he didn't dare touch the decree again, hurling it into Madame Shu's arms, then stormed off in a huff.
Father, you'd better keep today's peaceful period ritual completely under wraps, or if it ever leaks out, that'd be the crime of deceiving the sovereign. Fine if it is just you committing treason, but don't drag the whole Marquise's household down with you.
Lady Shu carefully tucked away the imperial decree, silently stepping forward and standing beside Shen Nanxing.
Nanxing, he is your father. Mother, in your eyes, is he more important, or the lives of my brother and me?
How could you even ask that?
Ah. You figured out my brother's death is linked to him, haven't you?
Nanxing, even a tiger doesn't eat its own cubs. There is no proof of that. Don't say such reckless things.
After those words, she saw her daughter about to speak up again.
Nanxing, didn't Mother tell you yesterday to return to Prince Jing's mansion? Why are you still here at the Marquise's mansion today? This goes against propriety. If His Majesty and Consort Duan find out, they might not be pleased. You'd better head back now. Shahe, help me back to the plum courtyard. Lady Shu had been in the sun too long and was feeling dizzy.
Princess, Madam isn't feeling well, so this servant would take her back first.
Shen Nanxing watched helplessly as her mother beat a hasty retreat, her eyes brimming with undisguised disappointment. She wanted to press harder, knowing full well her brother's death was tied to their father. So why wouldn't she face the truth? Even if I listen intently, he dodges away after just 2 sentences. Maybe she only has eyes for that man. When her brother died, she didn't even bother seeking the truth. She came back to the Hao mansion the very next day after her wedding. Yet, I never once heard him ask how she was. She wasn't faring well at all. All he did was keep pushing her to return to Prince Jing's mansion. 8 years ago, heedless of her wishes, he forced her to impersonate her brother. Has he ever given a single thought to her future? He truly doesn't care for his own children.
Miss, aren't you still planning to go find 9,000 years old?
Chengxing's eyes brimmed with concern.
Yes.
Shen Nanxing snapped back to her senses, her mind drifting to that black-clad man who always kept a stoic face in everyday life, a soft warmth flickering in her eyes.
That must have been his doing, right? What do you mean? Nothing. Brilliant move. Utterly ingenious. Look at that. Scumbag Dad's seething with rage. It is pure satisfaction just watching. But how on earth did he know the Scumbag Dad was about to try smoothing things over?
沈南星星 smiled a little for a bit, but couldn't untangle the puzzle, so she let it drop for the moment. In the end, she had to go see him anyway, and just ask him straight to his face. Shen Nangxing was just about to leave with Changxing when Xiao Tao's breathless shout came from behind. Little miss.
Hurry for me! Stop here!
She turned around and spotted Xiao Tao, trailed by a young servant from the Marquise's household. Both of them loaded down with all sorts of bags and bundles.
Xiao Tao, why'd you bring so much stuff? These are all your things, miss. I figure since we're rarely back at the Marquise's place, we might as well grab this chance to take them to the prince's mansion. You'll definitely want to see them. Miss, this bag's got all your favorite clothes. This box has those hairpins and jewelry you love wearing every day. This one's the books you adore reading. And here is all the letters you've written to His Highness over the years. Plus, the gifts His Highness has sent you since you were kids. You've kept them all safe and sound.
Shen Nangxing's face fell the moment she heard about the letters she'd written to Prince Jing, and the gifts Prince Jing had given her from childhood on. Her expression darkened instantly. These were all the foolish things she'd done in her past life, and the consequences had hit hard after her death. Those letters had ended up in Fu Julie's clutches, that scoundrel reading them aloud one by one at her grave, mocking her the whole time.
Are you really that stupid? Do you even realize that when you were writing those letters, he was off cozying up with another woman, just stringing you along for his own gain? And you still pine for him like this? Aren't you just a total fool?
And all those gifts King Jing gave her over the years, that scoundrel's dragging them one by one to his grave to tear them apart.
You were so easy to fool with this ugly little bamboo dragonfly. You actually cherished it, treating it like a treasure, holding on to it all these years.
But he'd toss that bamboo dragonfly away without a second glance, fingers dancing as he whips up a brand new one for you in a flash.
Take a look at his handiwork. It doesn't hold a candle to mine.
Shen Nanxing's lips twitched uncontrollably. The scoundrel's was indeed far more intricate than the one King Jing made for her. But that was crafted by King Jing when he was only 5 years old, while that scoundrel's a full-grown man.
Come on, ditch the one he made. Take mine instead.
So the man kindled a fire and burned the bamboo dragonfly he'd made for him. But seriously, where does this rumor even come from? Claiming that burning stuff at the grave sends it straight to the dead. It is complete nonsense, and that is just the tip of the iceberg. All the gifts that Prince Jing gave her, she is come to despise every last one of them. Ever since we partied at morning court yesterday, it has been a full day since I've laid eyes on him. No clue what he is up to right now.
Little Tang, send all this stuff back to Prince Jing's mansion.
In this lifetime, she sure as hell isn't keeping any of it. Burn it all tonight, so that man doesn't catch sight of it and start getting jealous all over again.
Miss, aren't you heading back to the prince's mansion now? What about the prince? The prince headed back to the mansion first on some business. Miss, didn't you just say you wanted to stay one more night in the Marquise's mansion? Can't do that. We're going back to the prince's mansion today, now that Scumbag Dad's deal to marry that equal status concubine has fallen through. Mother's stuck playing best man. We might as well head back to Prince Jing's mansion sooner rather than later. Even if we can't get our hands on that deed of mutual divorce, we need to figure out a way to snag that letter of repudiation quick. Chenxi, you and Little Peach, go on ahead to the prince's mansion. I'll make my own way back later.
I was planning to head straight to the palace, but then I thought better of it, and something tugged at my heart. So he veered off course and made his way to Chang'an Avenue. Yesterday, I was set on going to see him, but I ended up drinking too much and crashing out, which threw everything off. Today, I'm picking up where I left off to track him down and grabbing a little gift for him on the way.
Shopkeep, could you box up some pastries for me? 2 pieces of each kind and a jug of sweet wine. I'll take it all with me. Shopkeep, make that 2 jugs of sweet wine.
A woman's slurred, tipsy voice floated down from the stairwell. Shen Nangxing instinctively turned to look, and their eyes met. Why does this woman look so familiar?
Brother Meiyu, Brother Meiyu, I had a dream where you turned into a woman. Thank goodness, it was only a dream. Or if you really became a woman, 我怎么多蛋的? Would I do?
Tears misted in the woman's eyes as she reached out to touch Shen Nangxing's face.
Miss, get a hold of yourself.
Just then, a young man came jogging over from nearby and pulled the woman away.
Shua, stop fooling around. This is Jing Wangfei. Jing Wangfei. My surname is Huck, and my given name is Lindsay. This is my younger sister, Hu Shuanger. My sister has offended you, your highness, in her drunken state. I beg your pardon on her behalf.
Young Master Hu, think nothing of it.
She wonders where she has seen him before. Every time he returned victorious from battle, as he passed through the streets of Chang'an, the people of the capital would line the streets to welcome him, shouting his name with fervor, Northern Yue General. And among them, this girl's voice rang out the loudest, which always caught his eye, making him glance her way. And when their eyes met, she'd jump up in excitement. A girl so vibrant, living a life of unbridled joy. But he sacrificed himself to save her. In the end, though, Shen Nanxing fought back her tears and looked up at the drunken girl.
Shua, hello. I'm Shen Nangxing. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, what na? What star? You're clearly Brother Beiyue.
Your highness, forgive us. She is helpless in her drunkenness. I beg forgiveness for this offense to you. I'll take my leave for now and come to apologize properly another day.
All right. I'll be waiting for a proper apology from the Hu family.
Seeing his sister starting to fuss again, with no time to think, he hurriedly led her away. Miyu Prince's mansion.
The lady said, Shi Tingyu went to the Marquis mansion today to offer a formal apology.
And Princess Cheng has already forgiven him. Prince Jing. The two of them were chatting and laughing together, while Princess Jing kept calling Prince Jing by name.
What did she call him?
Brother Yu.
Long Feng's voice dropped even lower, his head sinking deeper and deeper. Just saying it out loud was enough to give him goosebumps all over. It was that cringeworthy.
Go on.
Princess Jing also ordered her maid to pack up all the letters she'd written to Prince Jing over the years, along with the gifts he'd given her since they were kids, saying she'd take them back to Prince Jing's mansion today, hoping these old mementos would rekindle his affections.
A woman like that isn't worth you stepping aside for.
Long Feng hadn't even finished speaking when a stern voice cut him off. No matter how unwilling he felt in his heart, he could only slip away swiftly. Shen Nanxing stepped out of the latest type, a box of pastries in one hand, a jug of sweet wine in the other. He headed straight for Prince Li's mansion.
Hey there, sir. I'm Shen Nangxing, the wandering dancer.
Oh no! Guards!
Hurry! Someone!
Intruders trying to break into the prince's mansion!
Ah, sir, you all right?
Don't come any closer!
Shen Nanxing felt utterly baffled, but he obediently halted anyway.
Guards, quick!
The mansion's gotta watch out for thieves!
Shen Nanxing glanced around in confusion, totally at a loss.
Sir, who is out there? I don't see a soul. Don't panic. Sir, listen. My kung fu's pretty darn good. I can take down your average thief in 3 moves flat.
Guards of the prince's mansion! Where are ya? Hurry, hurry, hurry!
This old guy's hanging on by a thread!
Sir.
Shen Nanxing opened his mouth to speak again, only to see 2 ranks of spear-wielding guards filing out from the mansion in perfect order.
Little girl! Listen, here.
This ain't no place for you to throw your weight around outside Prince Li's mansion.
Head back to wherever you came from, and I'll let it slide.
I'm Third Master here.
Let me tell you, you ain't sneaking in here, no way.
I wasn't planning to sneak in anyway. I need to see the 9,000-year-old. Just ask you to pass along the message for me.
Otto, come on, get lost, scram. The 9,000-year-old's busy.
You haven't even announced me yet. How do you know he is busy?
Oh, if I say he is busy, he is busy. You going or what?
The old man shot a smug glance at the fierce guards circling him, thinking if even they couldn't stop her from barging in, he might as well kiss his gatekeeper, drop goodbye. But then, before that smug look could even settle on his face, the little girl stepped forward. The guards of Prince Li's mansion all shuffled back in unison. She took another step, and they retreated again. Step by step like that, she nearly backed them right inside the gate.
You lot! Get her! What are you backing off for? Hurry up and toss her out!
But not a single one of those guards around him made a move.
Oh, miss, please, don't come any closer. All right, don't make us do this.
Why are you backing off? Go ahead, make your move.
The guard captain wiped the sweat from his brow, his face turning ashen. Was it that they didn't want to fight her. No, they couldn't beat her. And they sure didn't want to lose face again.
Just go. Lord 9000, he truly has no desire to see you. These are the freshest pastries and sweet wine you've just picked up, aren't they? Lord 9000, he never touches sweets, so don't waste your effort.
You're lying.
Shen Nanxing flared up instantly. Whether Fu Zhuli wants to see her or not, that is up for debate. But this guard claims he never eats sweets. What a load of nonsense. Clearly, these two are Fu Zhuli's absolute favorites. Otherwise, back in her previous life, she wouldn't have gone to his grave every other day with these, just to tempt him, making his mouth water, even from beyond.
You say Lord 9000. Years doesn't want to see me, so have him come out and tell me himself. I won't take your word for it. Otherwise, I'll just have to barge in myself.
Tensions at a boiling point. A figure in sleek black robes finally soared out from the mansion. He waved dismissively at the guards and their captain, who let out a huge sigh of relief. With a quick gesture, he led his 2 squads of guards away in a flash. Dongfeng eyes Shen Nanxing coldly.
Princess Jing, are you trying to force your way into Prince Li's mansion?
Spotting the accessories on him, just like those on Lang Yue, she has met a few times already. Pretty much the same. She quickly guessed he must be one of Fu Zhuli's secret guards too.
You're surnamed Lang too, right? I am here to see 9000 on some urgent business. They just won't let me through. I'm absolutely not forcing my way in. Could you please just pass the word to 9000 for me? I really do need to talk to him.
They're spot on. 9000 really doesn't. He want to see you.
What about you? I specially picked this up from Xinzhai. Waited forever in line. I'm here to drop it off for him.
9000 doesn't he like sweets? Please take it back with you, princess.
9000, you clearly hate sweets. Yet you went and polished off that whole box of pastries and the sweet wine. 9000's perfect in every way. He's just way too soft on the woman, standing right there. But this woman...
Princess Jing, you know your own position all too well. You shouldn't he keep showing up? To see 9000 like this?
This is only my first time.
Princess Jing, since you've married King Jing, just play the role of Princess Jing properly. This is Prince Li's mansion. You'd best stay away. 9000 has no feelings for you.
He cast a silent glance back toward the prince's mansion, his hands nearly crushing the items clutched in his grip.
Is this what he meant? Thank you. Please pass this message on to him. Princess Jing parts with great reluctance, but stands firm she won't seek him out again. All that is left are these pastries and sweet wine. Since I've already bought them, please deliver them to him for me.
With those words, Shen Nanxing set down the items, then turned and strode away without a second thought.
Lang Feng, you've overstepped your bounds. The matters between the master and Miss Shen aren't for a mere god like you to interfere in.
You've broken the rules, and I'll face the punishment myself. But I did nothing wrong.
Do you even know the master's been looking into the Liangzhou floods? This is the prince's duty to handle. And with King Jing's skills, once he sets out, he won't be back for at least 3 months. That is why the master's stepping in to take charge himself. Think about that.
Lang Feng clenched his fists until his knuckles whitened.
What on earth is so special about this Shen Nanxing?
Shen Nanxing trudged back with her head hung low in despair to the Jingwang mansion. That secret guard was spot on. As long as she hasn't gotten that divorce decree, she is still the princess consort. Bearing this title to go see Fu Zhuli would indeed put him in a tough spot. Right now, the top priority is getting Shi Tingyu to divorce me fast.
Miss, someone just came from the palace, saying that Concubine Duan wants to see you, and to enter the palace right away. What are we gonna do now? Concubine Duan must have heard about yesterday's court drama, and once you go, who knows how she'll mess with you.
Miss, if only you could go with the prince this time. He is so good to you. He'd definitely have your back. But we've searched the whole mansion, and still can't find him anywhere.
Alright. It'll be fine. What? You think she can eat me alive? I'm no pushover. You know. Remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, miss, you could knock out a guard with a single pebble. You'll be totally fine.
Do you think Concubine Duan's just some guard? You think I can just chuck a rock at her? She's already timid enough as it is. Why scare her even more? Well then, I'll go change and head to the palace.
The entourage strode out slowly. Reaching the grand gates of Prince Jing's mansion, Shen Nanxing stepped onto the footstool and boarded the carriage. But little did she expect that she'd only just settled in when voices from outside hailed, "Salute to the prince," right on cue. Shi Tingyu climbed into the carriage as well.
All right with you. His Majesty just summoned me, too.
Before he could finish speaking, his gaze lifted and he was captivated by those mesmerizing eyes.
It was Singa, radiant
as ever today.
Where on earth have you been? I searched high and low, but couldn't find you anywhere. My love.
I was just at a colleague's residence, huddling with fellow officials to hash out plans for the Liangzhou floods. As you know, the Liangzhou disaster strikes at the heart of northern livelihoods, leaving the people there homeless and adrift in the deluge. It has kept me tossing and turning all night, and now His Majesty's called for me, likely about the very same crisis. So for the sake of my duties pulling me away like this, will you forgive me, Xin-er?
Shen Nanxing sindered inward. This guy has definitely snuck off to see Shen Yi. He didn't even bother covering up that hickey on his neck. Yet here he is, lying straight to my face. Does he think I'm blind or something?
Really?
Of course, it is true. Jade brother, when have I ever lied to you?
Her delicate, palm-sized face twisted into a playful pout, and somehow it set his heart pounding. A rush of heat flooding his lower belly as down there he started to stir. She'd only meant to tease him just a bit, to coax him into softening up toward her, and spark some friction between him and Shen Jieyi. But before she could even make a move, he was already like this, eager and impatient.
Naughty boy.
Shen Nanxing felt a wave of nausea hit her. She yanked her hand away with force. Gripping the spot where he'd touched, she rubbed her palm over and over on the hem of her skirt at her side.
Singer, what is the matter?
Is something bothering you again?
Shen Nanxing couldn't keep up the pretense any longer, so she just went blank-faced, frowning as she complained of a dizzy spell.
It is just the carriage jolting too much.
Drive steady. Stick to the smoother road.
Shen Nanxing had no interest in tangling with him, so she simply closed her eyes and feigned sleep.
Yeah.
Feeling under the weather and craving a moment's rest. Brother Yu, don't disturb me.
Okay, Xi'er. Get some sleep. Brother Yu won't bother you.
Neither of the two in the carriage noticed, not far behind the carriage, a black sedan chair trailed at a careful distance, following the carriage all the way toward the palace gates.
Jiu'er, hey, you spot that carriage up ahead? That is Prince Jing's manor carriage.
I'm not blind. With that massive mirror on top, how could I miss it?
So you know who is riding in that carriage?
Hey, Chao Da, don't take me for a fool. Of course, it is Prince Jing and the princess consort inside the sedan chair.
Remember how the princess consort set her sights on marrying our master? Looks like our master turned her down, and she's patched things up with Prince Jing again.
The two sedan bearers' hushed murmurs were faint, yet every word reached the ears of the sect member crystal clear. We've arrived at the palace gates. Shen Nanxing opened her eyes and stepped down from the carriage with King Jing.
Singer, your Jade brother will go with you to see Mother Consort.
Your Highness, you should go see His Majesty first. His Majesty wants to discuss important matters with you. I don't want to keep His Majesty waiting too long.
No worries. It is still early. This prince will escort you to Mother Consort first.
With that, ignoring her gentle refusal, he took her hand firmly in his.
Mother Consort summoning you today means she has surely heard about yesterday's court affair, and she is probably fuming right now. I won't feel easy letting you face her alone.
Given Mother Consort's fiery temper, now that she knows what Nanxing did at court yesterday, she'll surely find ways to make trouble for her. And her favorite way to torment someone is hiding countless embroidery needles beneath a soft cushion, which might be tolerable any other day, but not today, absolutely not. If Nanxing hurts her knees or legs today, our wedding night tonight will be utterly ruined.
Xing'an, once we're in Mother Consort's palace, don't say a word. Got it? I'll handle everything.
That is fine, too. With this man stepping in, she wouldn't have to rack her brains over it anymore. It is exhausting. As she gazed at Shi Tingyu with tender affection, a black sedan glided past him, and as it drew near, the curtain of the sedan lifted, catching Shen Nanxing off guard as her sidelong glance met the eyes of the man inside.
That is not real! Not real! Not real!
Wolfie, what is wrong?
The woman before him had just yanked her hand from his, her face draining of color in sudden panic, all of it registering in his sharp eyes. And besides that chief eunuch sedan passing by, nothing else had happened.
So you're really still pining for that eunuch?
Shen Nanxing jacked her gaze up, a fierce glint flashing in her eyes, though it faded in an instant, giving way to a soft, inviting smile.
Brother Yu, what on earth are you babbling about? How could you even compare yourself to him? As if you could measure up to him.
Then, what was that little flinch just now?
I got all shy.
Shy already? Wait till tonight's bridal chamber, on our wedding night. Who knows how bashful you'll be by then? Let's head out.
In the imperial study, the emperor sits behind the desk, reviewing memorials to the throne, but the brush he has raised hesitates, refusing to touch the page. Before the desk stands a man in dark brocade robes. The emperor says nothing, so he remains silent as well, standing quietly in attendance.
Ah, Minister Fu. What mischief are you stirring up this time?
You said, on the day of the prince's wedding, the diversion elsewhere was inextricably linked to that woman. Liang does 30 strokes of the rod to make an example of him, and Shili, the vice minister of war, being the most politically astute. Since this affair involves the prince, it was most fitting to have him carry out a sentence. I followed your advice, and the flogging went just as you described, with Shai standing in to take the blows. Then you claimed Nanxing was a woman disguised as a man, who had fought valiantly for North Yue for years, earning distinguished service on the battlefield, and now restored to her true feminine attire, with her general's title revoked. You said she deserved compensation elsewhere, so her mother was ennobled as a first-rank lady of the court.
I followed your advice.
Have you lost your mind? Now today, you're at it again with your self-reflection, insisting on going to Liangzhou to inspect the floods yourself.
What on earth is this about? You commanded the vast East Factory,
on which the peace of the capital and all North Yue depends. If you head off to Liangzhou, who will I have to lean on then?
Besides,
the matter of the Liangzhou floods, I have already entrusted to Prince Jing, and he has been preparing for quite some time now. To pull him back at this stage, how could I possibly explain that?
The prince is incompetent. As your servant has learned, he and his advisors have deliberated for days on end. The proposed solution is to repair the river dikes and divert the water, and to build reservoirs on a large scale for storage. This approach would consume massive manpower and resources, not to mention, our realm already has rivers and lakes aplenty, so there is no need to stockpile vast quantities of river water. Sure, there are occasional drought-stricken areas, but they're far removed from Liangzhou. Transporting the water there would rack up enormous additional costs. In my view, this plan just won't hold water.
So, in your esteemed opinion, what method should we employ?
Only after I personally inspect Liangzhou can I make a firm decision.
Send someone else?
No, absolutely not.
谢廷玉来的是南星 straight to 西岳 Palace, with only a handful of sweeping maids and servants at the entrance, and not a single one of concubine, Duan's personal attendants in sight.
Mother Lady Ding is occupied at the moment, so why don't you go see His Majesty first? Your Highness, I'll just wait here a bit, and Mother will see me once she is done.
Shi Tingyu's lips twitched slightly. Father's utterly besotted with his favorite consort these days, and when he works late, he crashes in the east wing of the imperial study. He hardly visits Mother more than once a month. What could possibly keep Mother so busy, sending away all her senior maids right now? It is obvious she is just trying to give my princess a hard time. Shi Tingyu shook his head in helpless resignation, then took Shen Nanxing's hand and headed into the main hall.
It is fine. Don't worry. I've got you.
Has that wretched woman arrived?
Your ladyship, this servant just got word that the Princess of Jin entered the palace a quarter-hour ago. She and her little belle should be at the gates of Shiyue Palace by now.
None of you are to go out and greet her. Let's see how she handles the snub.
Yes, your ladyship.
Is a zither heart cushion ready?
Replying to Mother Consort, the cushion is all set.
The core inside is packed nice and firm.
Mother Consort, this time this maidservant followed your orders, putting in more than double the usual amount, so it looks solid as a rock.
Yeah, good.
Does that wretched woman still think she is so superior? A woman like her, yet she roamed free for years, cavorting day and night with the soldiers. Who knows if she is even pure anymore? And all because she disguised herself as a man and delayed her marriage. She is practically an old maid now, yet Hue doesn't hold it against her. He is even willing to take her as his principal consort. That is grace beyond measure. But she doesn't even show a shred of gratitude over some petty squabble, trivial as sesame seeds and mung beans. She has the nerve to drag it all the way to His Majesty. That temper of hers, if we don't give it a good knock or two, before long, she'll turn Prince Jing's manor upside down. Just thinking about it boils consort Duan's blood, when suddenly footsteps echo from outside the hall. She bolts upright at once, and lets out a sharp rebuke.
Insolent! Shen Nanxing, what nerve you have! Barging into my Xia palace like this!
Mother Consort, it is your son here. I've brought the princess consort to pay you a visit.
Yeah, mother consort just wanted a quiet word with her new daughter-in-law. So why'd you have to tag along?
Shen Nangxing. Now mother consort can't even get you along, can she? You even dragged Prince Jing into it. What? Afraid I'll bully you or something?
It is all your fault. I told you I'd come alone, didn't I? Look, now mother consort's got the wrong idea about me.
Mother, Nangxing was supposed to come on her own, but I, your son, insisted on coming along with her. If there is anyone to blame, then blame me.
Since you've put it that way, my son, even though Consort Duan still harbors some resentment toward Shen Nangxing deep down, she'll have to let it slide for now.
You've always been so gracious and perceptive, Mother. How could you possibly mistreat your son's wife? I just missed you. Mother, it has been too long since we last met, and Father happened to summon me today. So with time to spare, I seized the chance to visit you.
Well, at least you've got a conscience, and remembered to think of your mother. Did your father summon you today? About the flooding in Liangzhou?
Yes, Mother. After much deliberation these past days, I've now worked out a solid plan with my advisors. It should put an end to this calamity in Liangzhou swiftly. Today, I'll report it to Father, barring any surprises. In 3 days, I'll head out to Liangzhou.
Entrusting you with quelling the Liangzhou floods, such a crucial task. That is a tremendous vote of confidence from your father. You must carry it out properly, and not let him down.
Rest assured, I won't fail in my duty.
All right. Mother Concubine is waiting for your victory feast. Once this is all sorted, your father will surely see you in a whole new light.
That so-called brilliant strategy Shi Tingyu's talking about is to build towering dikes to hold back the raging floodwaters, then dig reservoirs all across Liangzhou, and manually haul the excess water into them.
This has got to be the dumbest plan imaginable. Anyone could dream it up. Yet it took days of pondering, and now it is being touted with such pride. And not only does it eat up time and manpower, it guzzles silver like nobody's business.
Fine then. All right. Nancy, what is on your mind? Why won't you answer when I call?
Isn't Nangxing just standing there?
What are you all good for? Can't you see Princess Jing standing? Fetch her a chair at once.
Nangxing, don't hold it against Mother Concubine. It was my thoughtlessness. It has been ages since Mother Concubine saw you too. And getting caught up chatting with Jing Wang, I got so wrapped up in the moment. I overlooked you.
Shen Nanxing looks completely baffled. What is all this about? Weren't you just itching to jab him with a needle? How'd you flip to being all charming so fast? In no time, the maid hurries over with a chair.
Put it right here beside me, so I can have a cozy little chat with my daughter-in-law, the princess. Nangxing, come sit with Mother Concubine. We haven't had a proper sit-down and heart-to-heart yet. You and I.
Shen Nangxing frowned, gazing at concubine Duan's beaming face, feeling utterly ill, at ease all over.
Sarah, why are you just standing there? Mother concubine is calling you. Come here quickly.
Mother concubine, is there something you'd like to discuss with your daughter-in-law?
All right, then, about how you are left you alone in the bridal chamber on your wedding night. This concubine has already heard all about it. You was truly in the wrong this time, and the mother concubine has already given him a stern talking to. He won't dare upset you like that ever again. Tell me yourself, do you know you've done wrong? Will you ever bully Nangxing again?
My lady, your husband was wrong. Song Yangzi, give your husband one more chance. I'll make it up to you. I swear, I won't make you sad again. My lady, will you forgive your husband?
If my husband treats me with true sincerity from now on, then I'll forgive my husband this once, forgive you. You killed my grandfather. You killed my mother. You killed the messenger Zhang Guang. And all those loyal maids and servants in the Nanyang Marquise's household. You slaughtered my maternal grandfather and had his entire family executed. Qin Sheng, the moment I get the chance, I'll have you cut to pieces 1,000 times over.
That is wonderful. Seeing you two reconciled as before, that puts my mind at ease. You two as a couple must pull together from here on out.
Rest assured, Mother Consort, I and the Princess Consort will unite our strength, growing old together.
Nangxing, this business of resolving the Liangzhou floods is a noble cause that benefits the realm and its people. It'll do wonders for Prince Jing's mansion's standing. Handle this right, and His Majesty will see you in a whole new light. It'll pave the way for your bright future. You're a sharp one, and some things, well, Mother Consort can't just come out and say them. But I know you get it. The upside's here. You see it all crystal clear, don't you?
Mother Consort, your daughter-in-law understands completely.
Good girl. I knew you'd see reason. But the Liangzhou floods are a massive undertaking, with an enormous project ahead. So it'll guzzle a fortune in silver.
Here it comes. Those shameless mother and son out to fleece him for the silver.
Shen Nanxing sneered to himself, just as he'd figured. They were lying in wait for him.
Mother Consort, don't worry. These years, the Northern Yuan Kingdom has grown prosperous and strong. The national treasury is well stocked, and the Liangzhou flood disaster is of such grave importance that His Majesty surely won't stint on the silver for it.
The treasury may be full, but the needs of state and people require silver everywhere. In handling the Liangzhou flood, if we use a bit less silver, then other regions of the Northern Yuan Kingdom can benefit from more, to give the people a better life. Nangxing, what do you think?
Mother Consort, what you say makes sense, but if we don't draw from the national treasury, where will we find so much silver?
Nangxing, no need to fret. For this flood situation, His Majesty will surely allocate some silver taels, but it won't be nearly enough. We just need to figure out how to cover the shortfall.
So, how much is that shortfall?
Earlier, Mother Consort and you discussed it, estimating a total need of 150,000 taels of silver. With you requesting 100,000 taels from His Majesty, leaving us to cover the remaining 50,000 taels.
Sure enough, it is a whopping 50,000 taels. Shen Nanxing sneered inwardly. In her past life, Shi Tingyu had come back to the estate and told her about it alone. But it turned out, this was all a scheme cooked up by mother and son. Concubine Duan saw she wasn't responding, so she raised a hand to dab at her eyes, feigning tears.
It is just so tough. Mother knows 50,000 taels is a huge sum, putting you in a real bind like this. But what choice do we have, really? Rest assured, Mother won't leave you footing the entire bill for this silver. Nangxing, you know how it is. Mother's family has been acting all meek, so they haven't sent much pocket money my way. Not to mention all these years greasing palms in the harem. For every little thing, it is eaten up a fortune. All that is left now is a measly 1,000 taels of silver. And you can have every last bit of it, plus all Mother's finest jewelry and headdresses, except for this set I'm wearing right now. Take the rest, and pawn them for whatever silver you can get. They should fetch about another 800 taels. Your father doesn't visit often, true, but he does drop by from time to time, and it just wouldn't do to look so destitute in front of him, would it? That is why I need to hold on to at least one set of jewels.
Imperial Mother, how could I, your son, ever touch your emergency savings? You're just asking for folks to gossip behind my back.
Imperial Mother,
you've still got your days ahead in the palace. If you run out of silver, how on earth will you manage? Take your silver right back. I'd sooner starve to death than lay a finger on it.
We haven't even taken it out yet.
So what on earth are you taking back, my dear?
We've only just tied the knot, and the prince's mansion isn't hurting for cash, so we'll just cover these 50,000 taels ourselves. Yeah, once this mess is behind us, and Brother Yu starts bringing in the silver, I'll treat you like the queen you are, and make sure you never want for anything. But right now, let's just tide over this rough patch, okay?
Shen Nangxing was floored by just how shameless this guy could be. What is this nonsense about? Just married, and the mansion's flush with silver. It is me, Shen Nangxing, who has got the deep pockets here. He knows full well how empty the prince's treasury is. But this clown's playing dumb, and we'll handle it ourselves. It is crystal clear he is expecting me, Shen Nangxing, to cough it up.
We can't take Imperial Mother's silver just yet.
The second those words left her mouth, the weary concubine Duan froze in place.
Apricot, you're on board.
Nangxing, thank you so much. Nangxing, you're such a good girl. You're marrying you. It's the greatest stroke of luck he'll ever have.
Mother, Your Highness, I wasn't quite finished yet. Of course, we can't touch Mother's silver reserves, so I've been crunching the numbers, and 50,000 taels is just too steep. Your Highness, could you perhaps ask His Majesty for an extra 20,000 taels? Then the remaining 30,000 we can pull from the estate.
Out of the question, Xing'e. A year ago, King Ling's investiture only cost 110,000 taels. If I'm heading to Liangzhou to assess the floods this time, and it runs me 120,000 taels, won't that be like confessing to all the court officials that I'm no match for King Ling? Xing, can you bear to see Brother Yu mocked like that? Whispered about as if his talents fall short.
Said this man.
Since Eating Yu insists on drawing 50,000 taels from the estate, then so be it. The new arcade courtyard still holds plenty of valuables. The courtyard Eating Yu set aside for Shen Zhiyi, along with those private treasures he gifted him, should fetch a tidy sum. I had hoped to leave Shen Zhiyi with a place to call his own. But since Shi Tingyu won't have it, then we'll let it go. He won't raise a fuss anyway.